Nothing here is black and white. Nothing here is black and
Hey guys, how we doing? All good? Good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. And if you're really crazy, good morning. 5 a.m. in Australia or something. Hey, how's everybody doing? Everybody's week good? What we got here? Glad, how you doing, mate? Steve, good to see you. Norm, how you doing, mate? Jamie's on time. There you go. There you go. That's wow. How you doing, Jamie? I'll send you links to this music later, don't worry. Alan, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Good to see everybody in here. Nice and early, prompt, on time. Love to see it. Good to see all these lovely faces. Let's have a look. Get this sorted out. Yep. Yeah. Midday there in California. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because you guys went? Was it spring forward? Yeah. So you went an hour forward, right? The US did. Yeah. So yeah. Every year I get quite out by it because I have a lot of sessions and stuff with guys and girls in the US, and this year, yeah, thankfully one of my American friends told me because, yeah, I was about to get told off for being 1 hour late, I guess, yeah, to meetings. So yeah, I missed it this year. It seems like you guys do it very early compared to the rest of us, yeah. But yeah, let's have a look. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Not So Sunny Ireland. Is it St. Patrick's Day? Is it? I did not know that. Did not know that. Okay. Well done for still being awake, Norm. Love to see it, mate. Good job. And being able to type correctly as well. I mean, it's like St. Patrick's Day, a bit of a quiet one this year. Let's have a look. Couldn't make it to the bloody photo show though. Could I, bugger? Didn't come up. Yeah, we went up there on the Saturday. Lovely to meet a bunch of you up there. A bunch of you stopped me to say hi, and yeah, it was good to chat with you guys. Pretty quiet though, I thought. I mean, so we were up there. Saturday was the opening day. Those of you outside the UK, we have our the photography show, as it's called, up here in the north, in Birmingham, and yeah, it's just like pretty much our one big show. I suppose we have, what do we have? We have another one. Was it SWPP or something we have? Or is it something like that in London? But that's kind of more targeted at portraits and weddings and that sort of stuff. But yeah, the photo show was pretty quiet. Interesting to see who was and wasn't there in terms of brands and that sort of thing. And pretty much just Godox with flash up there. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, right? I mean, pretty much those of you that were up at the photo show, just Godox. I mean, you had like a couple of whatever you call, like third-party distributors or whatever, like Wex and AJ's and those sorts of people who sell flash as well. But in terms of individual brands, like specific brands, because Profoto wasn't there, right? Broncolor's not there. Who's left? Like, who's left who sells flashes? That's a serious question, by the way. Who is left? I mean, it is just pretty much Godox these days, right, for flash, and everybody else was LEDs. Yeah, everybody else was LEDs. So yeah. Steve, you're still hanging on to the old flash, right? The old school flash. He's still striking flints together when the models come in to get that little glimpse of bright light. Yeah, I mean, thankfully Godox has got you covered, mate, because it doesn't look like anybody else is going to do it. Yeah. I'm just happy that this thing is not getting stuck in my brain for 4 days after stream anymore. I'll be getting immune. Glad talking about that absolute banger of an intro song. Yeah. Yeah, so my point there, Jamie, is I don't think you missed out on a ton. Yeah, I don't think you missed out on a ton. We were up there 4 or 5 hours, and we felt like and I was talking to a bunch of people, so if I wasn't talking to a bunch of people, I don't know what I would have done. It didn't seem like a ton to go over. Yeah. Leo, hey doing, mate? Good evening, everyone. I was just about to question if we're having the upbeat song on the whole time now. Yeah, just in the background there. Just keep the vibes up, you know. Just to keep everybody on track. Yeah. Yeah, so silly to do that time thing now. Yeah, it is. Yeah, like the whole backwards and forwards of the time differences, and summertime and wintertime and that sort of stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, there's always arguments for it. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Wasn't it for the crops or something at some point? And then it was for like the kids walking home from school in the dark and that sort of stuff. And like, you know, that I get. But yeah, it does seem a fairly antiquated system now to have summertime, and it's not even like we all do it at the same time. So I mean, it can't just be me that messes it up every year and misses a meeting here and there, and it must be a pain in the ass, you know. Green beer for everybody. Yeah, and they seem to be busiest. Just got home. Oh, nice one, Steve. Yeah, so Monday was busiest, was it? Okay. See, that's kind of one of the things where, because I always go up on a Monday, and the reason for that is because, you know, trade and business, people go up on a Monday, and this year we can only make it up on the Saturday. So I was like, okay, go up on Saturday. And one of the reasons why we all go up on Monday is because we want to avoid the rushes on the Saturday, but it didn't seem to be any. And yeah, in previous years, Monday has actually been busier. Yeah. Yeah. Jamie says, saw your wife's Instagram post about you going and moaning about all the time. Look, I think I got so many messages about my wife's vlog. Yeah. Because I think I look pissed off in all the shots. That's not my fault. That's definitely not my fault. I blame the videographer. Yeah. As Alan says, newer in terms of flashes. Yeah, I suppose they do. Yes, that's right. I did actually get a couple of shots, because they've even brought out those little boxes, right? I even grabbed a couple of shots of them. They're boxes like strobes, so they look like half a cereal box type thing. I got pictures of them. I do know the ones you mean. They did bring out some new flashes. That is fair. I kind of know newer for LEDs, but yeah, you are right. Yeah. Godox is just a brand, essential photo cell. Yeah, it's kind of weird actually, because Essential Photo, which is kind of a major photographic supplier here in the UK, is like they've always kind of sold the Godox stuff, and like over the years, Godox was like, you know, there's no need to put our name on the stand or anything like that, you know, and I think those of you who know, a lot of Godox like years ago would be rebranded in our own countries, right? So here in the UK, Godox lights were rebranded to Pixapro. What is it in the US? Is it Flashpoint? And then there's like every country used to have its own brand that they would put over Godox lights, and that's definitely phasing out now, right? And as years have gone by, Godox have kind of been a little bit more keen to have their branding on the Essential Photo stand, and like now, like this year, it's just all coated in Godox branding. So they've kind of been like slow burning it, but now I think they've kind of dominated the market so much that their brand is so well known that they want to make sure that people are putting the name out there. And you don't see as much of the rebranding anymore, right? You don't see as much as the Pixapros and Flashpoints and that sort of stuff. It is more of the actual Godox heads now. Yeah. You're probably the only dedicated brand. Yeah. In terms of stand on its own, yeah. I mean, because Godox was technically there under Essential Photo. You're right. Yeah. Old school flashy cameras to the mirror until recently. Oh, I see. Here we go. I see. I see how it's going to be. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, nanite, but that's not flash though, right, Steve? So like nanite doesn't do any flash. So I mean LEDs, right? There was tons of LED stands up there. There's even some different brands that I'd never heard of. I'll bring those up in a minute. Just to kind of look at, but yeah, there's tons of LED brands out there now, but no flash. Yeah. If you play that for 4 hours on loop, you also yeah. England, it was so the milkman can see his delivery of the milk. Andre, I'm not sure that's true. We were discussing nails. Oh, on Instagram, Alan. That's funny, man. That's funny. Photography show as my brother had a fatal heart attack on Saturday morning. I'm sorry to hear that, Sin. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks, man. That sucks. But that's awful news, man. Yeah. Thoughts are with you, my guy. Yeah, that's rough. Was he pretty old, or was he taken too young, as it were? Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. Does anybody? So those of you guys that went to the photo show, did you see anything up there that we just like? Oh, that's pretty cool. I wasn't aware of that. Or did you just go up there just to kind of hang out and see stuff? Did you actually see anything new that you thought was like, I hadn't seen that before, or that's a new brand or a new light, or because it's kind of tricky to do that now, right, with the internet and that sort of stuff. Like we kind of know exactly what we're going to see each time. Or did you guys go up there to kind of get your hands on stuff, see what a lens was like, or see some speakers, or what were you guys going up there for? Was it really just to kind of hang out? I had like 2 or 3 meetings. In fact, I was supposed to have a meeting with Nanlite, but the Eli, the guy that I speak to, he was supposed to transfer in Dubai, right? And obviously all the flights are cancelled, thanks to Mr. T and his troublesome ways. So that didn't happen, which was a shame. But he spoke to a couple of other people there, though, so it was good. Yeah, it was good. It's a good trip, and it's also good. Always good to see you guys. Yeah, big shock. 60 years old, man. That's tough, Sin. That's tough. Yeah, that's rough, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oof. Yeah. Explore Rabbit. Hey, Raph, how you doing, man? From Belgium, yeah. How you doing? Alan, backdrops, messages I sent you, he was sending me some backdrops. Oh, so you went up to see them, did you? I hadn't heard of those guys before. What were they called? Do you remember? What were they called? I'll bring up their website. What were they called? They had some good stuff. Yeah. Was there any real bargains? Do you know what, Sin? I was not looking. Actually, there was this. I'm going to show you this lighting brand in a minute, and they offered me 50% off their lights. I was like, okay, it seems like a lot. I'll show you the brand in a minute. I hadn't heard of them before. I mean, it's a major light, but I think there were some deals to be had. Yeah, I know a couple of guys mentioned they got some hefty deals. Yeah. What was that backdrop, Alan? Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Okay. Vlad, if you're still here, do you have any kind of photo shows out your way? Is there anything like, what's the nearest one to you? Is there one in Europe up from you that would be viable, or is it just not really a thing? Like it's too spread out, as it were. Because they used to have some monster ones in Europe, I think. What was that big one in Europe that was around forever, and now it's kind of died off? I forget now. Okay, let's have a look. What we're going to do here. Okay, bring this over. So what we're doing. So every couple of weeks do a live stream, and if you're new here, every couple of weeks do live stream, kind of go over a couple of bits, see any new news releases, any new products that have come out, have a bit of a look at that. We usually focus on sort of one specific topic each stream. This week we'll be covering the L600, the new L600 from Profoto. So we'll have a look at that in a minute, and I'll put it on the stand, and I'll see if I can hook up the phone to show you some of the settings and stuff in that. We'll go over a couple of the videos that Profoto shot of me, and we can kind of go into a little bit more detail on some of the things that I was discussing in the video, because obviously every video today has to be like 2 minutes long, you know. So we'll have a bit of a chat about the new LED from Profoto, the L600C specifically, which is the one I've got, and then we will also go over your images, so the community images, and give any feedback if needed in the share a shoot. So let me grab this link and pop it in chat. If you're interested, then head over to that link there, which will bring up this page, and then in the comments of this post you can leave some of the images you've been working on. Ooh, quiet week this week, guys. Okay. Maybe everybody's getting lashed up. St. Patrick's. Was anybody there? Oh, was anybody at the photo show on Sunday? Because it was Mothering Sunday. Was it super dead on Sunday? Was anybody up there? Thank you, Sin, for generously censoring that one for a change. Yeah, pop your image in there. We can have a look at that later on. Yeah. Photokina, Steve. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Well done. Yeah, that was the big one. Yeah. There was one in the Brussels that quit 2 years ago now. Yeah, I mean, a couple of them died off, but there was one in Brussels, was there? Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is quiet. And I mean, our one in the UK went away for many years, and granted, you know, COVID and that sort of stuff, but now it alternates between up north and in London from, you know, year to year. So next year it'll be in London. Yeah, so we'll see. Blass says, I have no idea. I'm sure there are some photography gatherings in Bucharest. Okay, but as far as brands go, we are getting the best local distribution from a brand. Okay, so nothing really local, as it were. Yeah, you would definitely have to go well out of your way. Yeah, I mean, because there's loads in the US, right? There's loads, and they're huge, massive ones in the US, and they also, I think it was one of you guys was telling me, right? They had Annie Leibovitz and stuff talking at one of their shows. So like they have some real people there. You know, I can't imagine she's cheap. Yeah, I mean, they take them pretty seriously over there. Yeah. Steve says there's a Wales and West show that has quite a few companies present. Sam as representing Rotolite. Oh, really? It's a Wales and West show. I have never heard of that, Steve. I'll have to have a look at that. I didn't even know that was a thing. Interesting. Okay. Wonder where they host that. Yeah. I'm sure the wedding industry have some and their shows, but I don't do weddings, so don't know. Yeah, like we have. Yeah, I think it's the SWPP here, guy. Isn't that right? That's what it's called, right, guys? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, and or the associates or something like that. I used to do talks for them for when I was working for Bowens, and it was a good crowd back then. It was a good crowd. You know, it was in a smaller space, so like it felt really busy. But that was, you know, I mean, those were different times, man. Different times. You know, everybody was out getting lashed up every night. Obviously, I don't recommend that. You know, we've got to keep it professional now. But yeah, back in those days, there would always be parties and stuff going on and do's in the evenings, and yeah, because you'd be up there with the brand like 4 days or whatever it was. Yeah, no, it was good, man. Yeah, it was good times. And now everybody just like rocks off at like 5 o'clock, and yeah. It's very, 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 very casual now. Yeah. Seems it was quieter, but not super dead. Today was by far the quietest on the Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, I bet it was. Yeah. You were up there all week, Steve. Fair play to you, mate. Wow, you're really dedicated to it. I respect that. Yeah. The other one was too. Oh shit! What were we talking about? Oh, you're talking about the censored image. I don't know whether it was fully censored. Sin. I don't know if it was. Yeah. Chromatica backdrops. Well, I'm glad you said that, because I would never remember that, Alan. Yeah. Backdrops by style, type of photography. Okay. Okay. Oh, Christ alive, what's it like, these bloody things? The ones we looked at were beautiful. They did not fall into that category, the ones I was looking at there. Fine art? We have to go into the good ones. Yeah, some of these were really nice. And I don't think they were too expensive. Yeah, there we go. Some of these were, they had up there were beautiful, like really like highly detailed and super lightweight. So they're fabric, but beautiful quality, super lightweight in terms of like thickness and that sort of stuff, and looked like they were pretty difficult to crease and that sort of thing. And when I say lightweight, as in like just like they would go up real small and that sort of stuff. And what were the prices? They were like for the old big ones there. Yeah, there you go. So for the 3x2, like the biggest one, it's like €135, which like I think is pretty good. I think it's pretty good for a big, fully printed, and they looked beautiful quality. Yeah, they looked beautiful quality. Yeah, some of them, like some of the other ones, the opening images there looked a little bit cheesy. But yeah, some of these are really good. They had this deep red one up there, which was gorgeous as well. Yeah. So I mean, look, if you're interested or curious, from what I could see, they look good. Yeah. If anybody, I mean, I was going to say in the UK, but that's European. So yeah. That one's kind of cool. Yeah. I didn't actually realize I did so many different sizes as well. So you could do 2x2 there as well. I mean, yeah, can't argue with that. Yeah. Yeah, well done, Alan. Well done. Yeah. Essentials using Cape backdrops. I've got some of the essential ones. They're good, but they're proper painted. Like they're proper painted backdrops. Yeah. Essential photo. And what will you do? Like, yeah, hand painted ones here. Yeah. 2x3, 170. I mean, that's not. I mean, you know what? Some of what they call the Oliphant ones in the US are just unbelievably expensive. Yeah, like thousands. Yeah. Yeah, where are they all? I mean, like I said, I've had some of them, and they look really good, but they are genuinely hand painted though. So it kind of you kind of expect it, right? Cape backdrops here. There you go. Yeah. I've used mine a bunch. Definitely they look good. Yeah, 2x3. So I mean, yeah, these aren't expensive for like fully hand painted ones. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. You can upload a picture and they print it the size you want. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, which would be interesting. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what you choose. Yeah. Sin says I got Cape backdrop a while ago and sent it back. I have Gravity ones, which are really great hand painted canvas ones. Oh, you sent the Cape ones back. You were not happy with the quality or something, or wasn't good? Yeah, I got one of these blue ones, I think. And I had a gold one as well, which is really cool. Like the gold one is kind of almost so unique that you couldn't use it as much because it was just kind of stood out. But yeah, I got some. Mine's not quite as blue as that. It's kind of a deeper kind of grey blue. But yeah, beautiful. Yeah. It's really interesting, I think. Yeah. Steve, out of interest, did you remove that link, or did YouTube delete your link? I'm kind of curious because obviously you're a mod in here, so you should be allowed to post links. But I'm just kind of curious if you deleted it, because I've seen a couple of message retracted over the recent streams, and I've never really looked into it, but I'm curious if YouTube is deleting them or not. Yeah. Andre says, I was very lucky that my dad used to work for Disney and paint some of my backdrops who need something done. That's cool. Oh, you did, Steve. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, feel free to leave it in chat. Yeah. That's really cool, Andre. Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look. What we got here? So nothing crazy come out the last couple of weeks. Amaran announced their Halo series of lights. Kind of a cool setup. They got these little thin ones, and they get kind of bigger. But I mean, I think they're only white lights. So it's great if you're already in the Amaran ecosystem. Makes sense, right? They're just bringing out a new line of lights. I don't think anything is crazy about them. Like I said, they're just white light, and like you can see here, right, the baby one here, which is 60, like super thin, all S-fit, which is kind of crazy. You just have this big softbox with this little plate on the back, which is kind of cool, don't get me wrong. Like very, very thin, but then you got the like the 100, and they slowly get thicker and like deeper and deeper as they go on, which is like the 300 does look pretty small for a 300, to be fair, but I guess it's daylight, so yeah. And then the 600, the big 600 up there. So prices wise, not too bad, pretty standard, right? Pound a watt sort of thing is where we're looking there. Yeah. I was actually looking to see whether they did have a Kelvin range, and they do have a Kelvin range. 2,700 to 6,500, so not massive, but more than enough for most. Yeah. So if you're already in the Amaran ecosystem, then maybe this is something you're after, but nothing crazy. Yeah. No worries, Steve. No worries, yeah. Sin says, very thin, so much that the light went through it and bounced back off the wall. What the hell? That's crazy. No, mine is, it practically takes two of you to put it up. It's super thick. Yeah. Interesting, man. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, if the light's going through it, that's wild. Yeah, I'm surprised that. Yeah, I'm very, very, very surprised to hear that. Yeah, it's just absolutely not the case with mine. They're like very heavy. And that's kind of the downside of them. The reason why I was interested in these ones that Steve or Alan in there was talking about earlier on at the show there. Alan was saying about Framatica backdrops was because they were super lightweight. But I wonder if I still don't think light would have gone through those. But yeah. Oh, they made it out of plastic. That would be my guess, Andre. Yeah, that would be my guess. Good question though. Good question. Yeah. What do we think? We can probably tell from the weight, right? Although sometimes the plastic, you've got to be careful because they get so hot. Maybe they wouldn't be. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So weight 2 kilos. Ooh, I don't know. For that little thing, yeah, maybe it is metal. Yeah. Don't know. A friend of mine, Donna Craddock, she backlights. You mean, when you say backlight, Jamie, you mean it actually lights them, illuminates them from behind them? Interesting. I never thought to do that. Yeah. And it freaking works a treat. I want to do it, but don't have the space. I was going to say, yeah, that's like a rear projection situation, right? Yeah. Interesting. We've never done that. Yeah. I could see how it would work to reduce all the shadows and that sort of stuff. Yeah, if you got the space, you could. I could see it. Yeah. How you doing, Paul? How you doing, mate? FX Filters brought this out, which I thought was kind of funny. This this sort of handheld, like mottled bathroom glass thing, and yeah. I mean, I respect them for making it. It's not actually extortionate for what it is, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, they do this, like the baby ones and the bigger ones. And yeah, we used to get offcuts. I used to go down to I forget what it was called here, but yeah, like the window shop. It was like glazers or whatever, and I was like, you got any offcuts, and they would and then we give them, but you really have to sand them down because they were razor sharp. But yeah, I remember using offcuts of the bathroom glass, and then years went by, and then like so many companies like Lens Baby and that sort of stuff bring out the kind of custom made things. But yeah, like the Lens Baby, what's it called? The Omni kit, is that right? Omni kit. I think it's actually pretty good. That gives you a lot of variety for similar price. So unless you're doing something specific that you need this one specific look, I'd probably say like the Omni kit from Lens Baby is going to give you more choices. Yeah. Have a look at Gravity. Lots of Hollywood actor shoots done with the backgrounds. Yeah, Gravity backdrops, right. And the other one is what? Olifant? Something like that. Backdrops. I'm pretty sure it's Olifant backdrops. Yeah. There's no way. Oh, Olifant. I was pretty close. That's pretty close. Yeah. So these ones are the big boys over there, right? And these ones are but I mean, I suppose it's pretty big, but yeah, $1,500. It's not massive though, is it? Yeah, it's not huge. What's that? 6x8. I mean, that's, what is that, like 3x2 or something? Yeah, it's not massive. It's not huge. But I mean, these are actual, just like humongous paintings yeah. They're beautiful. Yes, some of them are beautiful though. £1,000 or less. Oh man, let's look at the deals. Let's look at the bare deals. So we got. That's kind of nice. Yeah. So yeah, like they can be super expensive, and Gravity as well. Does anybody use any of these painted backdrops? I do occasionally, and like it has its place. I think I think having at least one or two, if you're a professional shooter, is a pretty good idea because it's very easy to get some passable images quite quickly that people love, right? So yeah, you can get some. Okay, so these ones are less, but they're still pretty pricey, right? Okay. Portfolio, let's have a look. Oof, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, definitely well made. Yeah, definitely well made. But again, not super cheap, but cheaper than the Olifants, or whatever they are. Yeah. Oh, Chris Knight, he's done a bunch, has he? Oh, it just takes you to his portfolio. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah. Alan says he's ordered 8x10 foot. Okay, that's pretty big. Yeah. Lights from the rear shining through as uses floral type patterns, really effective. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I could see it. I never really thought to do it, and then again, but then you're not getting any light through my painted ones. Yeah. No, you could, Jamie. You could. Yeah. Swear I heard it OnlyFans spectrum. Yeah, no, that's yeah. Those are definitely different. Pretty niche. Yeah, you know. Gravity are much cheaper. Yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, yeah, not cheap, but they're certainly cheaper than the Oliphant ones. Yeah, they use painted backdrop time to time. Yeah, I think they have a place, right? I mean, it's not often I use them, but like I said, if you just need to get a quick image, it's very kind of very easy. This is the one from These are the Essential Photo ones, so pretty nice. Like job done. Nice quality, but yeah, the dark ones is good. Yeah. Yeah, but these ones are like very heavy though. Yeah, I mean you have to use a C stand. This is the cheap one that I bought for like 40 quid, which is just a bung in a bag one. Yeah. Yeah. Did you look at the company from Photoshop? Yeah, great pricing. Yes, we did look at those ones. Yeah, I've already forgotten what it was called, but I think Alan put it in there. But they were good. Yeah, I think I put a link in chat as well. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Yeah, the from me. Yeah, yeah, these ones were good. Yeah. Sin says he's got 3 for under 1,000 delivery from Serbia. Gravity do 3 for a 2 deal. Okay. I mean, if you ever need deals, Sin is the guy to ask. Like, if there's ever a deal to be had, Sin will know where it is. 3 for 2 though. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting them posted, right? I mean, it's got to cost a fortune to have something like that posted. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, cool. Okay. Vlad sent this to me the other day. Somebody has painstakingly put this huge kind of lens database together. Apparently there was one that used to exist, and like the upkeep, fell behind on the upkeep, and it kind of got squashed. But this guy managed to go back in the Wayback Machine and kind of dig out all the data. So this is like tons and tons of like super nerdy data on lenses and comprehensive database, camera lenses, bodies with specifications, compatibility information, expert recommendations. So 7,500 lenses. Yeah, most popular lenses. The Tamron. Okay. Yeah, so it just goes in there. Depends how kind of geeky you are with that stuff. And look, I'm not throwing shade. Look, I'm that guy when it comes to lighting. So yeah, this is the sort of stats that I would look at in lighting. But yeah, like the lenses and camera stuff doesn't really jump out to me. But really impressive resource. So thank you for Vlad for sending that over. There's tons of data in there. Yeah. You can just go into the hardware store and get paint or drop cloth and paint it yourself. Make up your own look. I have tried. It's harder than it looks. Maybe you got the gift, Andre. Maybe you got the gift. Yeah, the closest that I got was making a white one, which was what I used for a hair shoot late last year, and like I loved the results. Results look awesome. Yeah, but so you can certainly do it. But I would say that the painted backdrops. You like if you see something you like and you go, oh yeah, nice, I'll just try and copy that one. I think it's harder than it looks for sure. Yeah. You have to paint with PVA glue first, then paint. Yeah, the whole format of the hair shoot was amazing. The white from the hair shoot was amazing. I thought it turns out well. They loved it. It didn't cost me too much, and yeah, I thought the results looked great considering we were shooting in a hair salon. I think it was way better than just having a white colorama, which is what they had in mind. So yeah. I think it's on my website if anybody's interested. It shouldn't be too far back. I do this every time, and then it is. But oh, there we go. Yeah. So this thing. So I was just using like a street brush to paint it on, and to give this kind of effect. And it was just like, for me personally, that was also way better than just using a white colorama. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a window blind that I painted with paint from hardware store. Yeah. I forgot about these shots, man. They weren't too long ago, but they look cool. Yeah, they look good. Yeah. So that was that. What else have we got? Lens database. So at the show, it was these guys were showing at the photo show on Saturday. There was guys there, an Italian brand called Maxima, showing these lights, and these things were like they looked cool. Like they did look cool, but they were only daylight, so no RGB, but they were all LED. Really well made, beautifully well made pieces of kit, and as standard they come with the Profoto attachment, but they have a Profoto to SFIT attachment as well. Again, you know, me and my work with the color didn't really grab me personally, but they were beautifully well made and crafted. Some of the, like most of them, were battery powered as well. So I mean, again, like not cheap, but then this is the cinematography world, right? And I think like a lot of the specs on them were pretty fancy as well. Like all this is copper for heat dissipation as well, as opposed to the cheaper ones that you see, like we saw it in here, right? You see the heat fins in here are aluminium usually, or whatever it is, I think, yeah, which don't dissipate the heat as much as copper and that sort of stuff. So like it's all these little things that add up to the cost, right? So and I was like, shit, this thing's gonna be hot. It's been on all day, and it was like you could put your hand on it. It was nuts. Yeah. So again, right, like I think there are certain value limits out there, but these things were beautifully well made, and the way they looked and the way they were made kind of caught my eye. But yeah. Very cool. Again, I don't know how much was swaying me, like the design concept over the actual practicality of them. But yeah, but yeah, he sent me an email. Like, do you want 50% off? I was like, well, I just don't shoot daylight, so it's not like, yeah, it's just not something that I would use, even though I thought they were pretty cool. Yeah, so that was those. Those Maxima lights look like they weigh 2 tons, but are probably built like a tank. Yeah, I mean these things were units. They were absolutely units. I didn't actually pick one up, Vlad. You're right. I don't actually know how much they weigh, but yeah, but they were beautifully well made. Like they really were. But yeah, they're obviously designed to be on set, and even the battery's like €1,500, right? So yeah, again, a lot of nice design implements on them. I'd never heard of them before. They had a reasonable size stand there. It wasn't like a cupboard like some of them. So just a couple of guys there. I think like the main owner of the brand. Yeah, the owner of the brand was there, and I was chatting to him, Italian guy, and yeah, interesting products for sure. But again, not particularly practical for me, just because I shoot RGB, but otherwise I was certainly very fascinated by what they were doing. Yeah. Can you focus the lights on the Maxima lights? Only with certain modifiers. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see it on any of these where it's like a bare. Yeah, the fronts that I saw on them were kind of frosted over. Dome, as it were. This one looks like it's flat on the front there. So they had a variety of them, but you can't. The ones that I saw there, you couldn't focus them. Yeah. I think I got some. Oh yeah, I'll just grab some shots at the show there. Yeah, as you can see the size of them there, and the copper vents and stuff. But yeah, it was crazy how not hot they were, even though they'd been on all day. I was just like, what the hell? It's nuts. Yeah. You see Rotolite there. We only saw 4 lights. Do you know what, Alan? A couple of you said that you'd seen them down there, and I knew they were there. They were under Swain's, right? They were being like because they're owned by Swain's now, I think. And I did not see the stand. Yeah, I feel kind of rude because I should have chatted to the guy who now runs it, and then we were kind of driving home, and I'm like, shit, I didn't even see Rotolite there. Where were they? At the back left somewhere? Somebody said, and then yeah, but I did not see the stand. Kind of talking about that, Profoto had some lights there with AJs, and they literally had like what, 3 heads there. They did have the L600C, but yeah, like Profoto had like no presence there at all. Yeah, flash is not a thing at these shows, which is I thought was kind of wild. Yeah. And so one other thing that went over to the Pixel Pro stand, or the Essential Photo stand, sorry, and I was fortunate enough that there was a lady there from Godox. She was there for 2 days over from China or wherever it was that she was stationed, and I was chatting to her, and they had a couple of new lights that were interesting. One in particular, which I want to talk about now, and I don't know how much I can say, but I think I can say some of this, even though I couldn't find any data of this online. So they have, where is it? Oh, these are the newer ones. I'll just quickly mention these are the newer ones. I'm talking about like the cereal box thing with the modifier on the front. Somebody in chat was mentioning that Newer had flash there, and you're right. So Newer did bring out some new flash units. They had mostly LEDs there, but yeah, they had these units here, which are pretty cool. They're heavier than they look actually. These things are pretty heavy. Yeah. Newell was a brand I hadn't heard of as well. They had a bunch of LEDs there, but I just think they were just rebranding LEDs rather than their own. Yeah. So this was one of the units there that because you can see it's actually got like masking tape here from the from like the cupboard that it was in, and she Yang brought this out to show me. So this is a LED but flash as well tube, right? It's kind of weird. So let me just play the very short video and then I kind of explain what's going on here. So you have this kind of LED stick, which tube thing, as we know, right? You got the TTL flash. So the flash part of this is only Kelvin, right? So you just saw it flash then. And on the other side of it, I think the flash might be in here, and we were just looking at the LED, or vice versa. So on one side is flash, and on the other side is RGB LED. So the downside of it, I'm just not sure the use case for this, because you got RGB LED on one side, okay, cool, and then just white flash on the other side. And again, like it's got TTL and stuff there, so like the flash and that sort of thing. But this thing was heavy. So you've got, if you're holding this up, like you definitely feel it. So I don't know what the use case for this is, but again, Godox is always bringing out stuff. They're always playing with new ideas, and this is another case of that. They're just bringing out these new products, seeing what sticks, seeing what doesn't stick, seeing what works, seeing the feedback, and but yeah, they're always bringing out these products. So this was I don't know. I can't see a use case for this, especially not for me and my work. I either use flash or I use LED. I don't. Let me just switch it round to flash real quick. Yeah, don't know. But again, hats off to Godox for trying new things like this, and as we've said in the past, like they're bringing out new products every week practically, right? So yeah, kind of weird. Yeah. Alan says Rhodolite was in the back, right? Okay, wow. Yeah, no, I did not see them. At all. Yeah. Steve was saying AJ stand was really small. It was super small, man. Super small. Like I said, they had like 2 or 3 Profoto heads there. It's kind of wild. Yeah. Andre says, I just got a Rhodolite. It was nice to see you. Show us a bit about how they work. Best for you guys, and just getting into this sort of lighting. Well, congrats on getting the Rhodolite. Look, I do. I'm not affiliated with them in any way now, but I still use them on every shoot, really, just because of the quality of light that they have. I specifically use the EOS 2 Pros, and yeah, look, I won't go into a huge amount of detail here, but I would say keep the diffusion dome on them. I'm not a huge fan of all the little hundreds of little specular LEDs on their own. I would keep the diffusion dome on, and if I'm using the EOS as a as a key light is beautiful, and just keep it like arms reach away from the model. Gorgeous, gorgeous light on the face. Yeah. So going back to Godox one there, like, yeah, I'm not sure the use case for this. Unless anybody else got any ideas on it. This is the new secret, because I can't find any data about it online, and the new secret light from Godox called the Palette Lab. Now, you may notice that there's, sure, we got like the G there, but very little Godox branding on this, which I thought was kind of interesting. So we got the Palette Lab. That's the new brand of light that they're looking to bring out. And I quote, this year. So she was pretty confident they're coming out this year. So we'll see. So this is a 300, and she was saying that, and look, take this with a pinch of salt. But she was saying they'll be bringing out a 600 and a 1200 head, right? I'm skeptical of that for a couple of reasons, but anyway, let's carry on. So this is the Palette Lab from Godox, and this is looking to be a little bit more involved. And I just knew this, but yeah. So again, you got all the usual things on the back, like the Kelvin and the RGB and the tints and all that sort of stuff, and you got all the different versions in there as well. So even just that brief second there, just in the menus, you see we got dimming curves as well, and smoothing. So like, like this is definitely going for something with a little bit more of a technical feel to it, for sure. Like, you can adjust probably the flicker and that sort of stuff in these. So you got some options there. You got the usual, Kelvin. You got the HSI there. So then you got the XY, the RGBW, the gels, and you got the effects, right? So pretty standard stuff there, right? So what's the big deal with these then? So the big deal with these is the number of colors that or chips that this thing has, right, to give you this beautiful color range. And she would not tell me how many chips this thing has. Her response was, Blair has 5, and they added a couple more chips, right? So I don't know what they're on now, 5, 6, 7, 8 or something like that. Nanlite has 8, and then she was going, and then she said our palette light. So I'm the way that she worded it makes it sound like there's more than 8 chips in there. So let me just clarify what that means. So like the Blair original aperture lights, which were under the Blair banner, which have the RGB chips with blue, lime, amber, indigo, and red, right? So typically a standard, fairly cost-effective light, LED light from Newer, for example, will just be red, green, and blue, right? So you got your three chips, and then all the colors are made from that. And then Aperture came out with Blair, which was 5, giving you the colors that I just mentioned. I think in recent years they've added a few more to that. Nanlite supposedly is 8. We'll talk about the Profoto head here in a minute and how they deal with the chipsets. But then she followed up saying that this will be more. She wouldn't tell me how many though. What was kind of interesting though was that she got out like a mobile phone. Like she got out a phone and was showing me these shots from what looked to be a meeting. She'd grabbed shots off of the wall of a presentation of wavelengths of light, and this is going to get super nerdy, so I'll be brief. I won't bore you to death with it on too much. So I googled, just as a reference, I googled Palette Lab color engine, right, and there is nothing out there on that. There is nothing at all on the internet about this light. So Godox has the page, but they haven't populated the page yet, right? So there's literally nothing out there about this light, so I couldn't find anything extra. So this is the color waves, right, or the spectrum. if you like. Yeah. So here's an example of some of the things we're dealing with here. And to give you an example, I think, so look, H here, if you can see it, H is midday sunlight. So this is the color spectrum for daylight. And this is why daylight is so beautiful and like just always gives you the most gorgeous light, is because it gives you the full spectrum of color and light. Yeah, so you can see there's very little gaps. So if we look at the hideous like fluorescent tubes, for example, over here, see all the gaps in that spectrum? That's why you just get horrendous color from those tubes. Incandescent or tungsten is again extremely sought after for its quality and colors because there's just no dips, right? And again, incandescent is literally burning metal, so it's a very raw product. And it gives you this beautiful color, which again, like, you know, movies have pretty much infinite budgets, but they still use tungsten lights on sets to this day for this reason, because it gives you this beautiful color spectrum, right? And then you've got I think that's a standard white LED bulb, right? So this is a white LED bulb. See the gaps in the spectrum, like it's wild, right? Now every company will kind of have a color spectrum like this for their light, right? And the image that she showed me on her phone, which was like a photo taken of a product meeting, had the different brands of lights color spectrums, right? Which was wild because it just blatantly looked like it had just been taken off a screen, right? So she had this shot, and it had the and it had like all the spectrums of, you know, of all the lights there, and she had nan light there, and she had, you know, like she had daylight, which is up at the top here, right, all very high, and then, like, you know, she had like the nan light one, right, and then she was very proud of the palette light. Apparently, like, the spectrum was very high, like higher than the other ones. So look, like, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We don't know anything about this light yet. I was very interested. I did manage to get her email. She said that she would send me one out when it's done. Who knows whether she will or not? But I will certainly chase her on that, because again, like this stuff I find fascinating, and I kind of want to get into what this means to me in a minute with the L600 from Profoto here, because the way that they're doing color is kind of different to the way that these other brands have done it. I'll kind of speak about that in a minute. But when I was playing with them in the studio, it was immediately apparent that the quality of the color from these was extremely clean. It's very difficult to kind of explain that without seeing it for yourself, but it was instantly apparent that it was a beautifully clean color from these heads. So anyway, that's what we got from Godox. I don't know what they're planning on doing, or who that light is for, like the price of it. It wasn't under the no LED range, which is their cinema line, right? It wasn't under that. And I was also kind of surprised at the kind of lack of branding from them, right? You got the G there, but it's definitely coming under the Palette Lab brand. So this is a whole new line. So I started off this conversation saying the types of lights they're hoping to bring out. So this is the 300, so power-wise, right? And to do a 600, which is bright, and a 1200. Now, the reason I'm skeptical of that is because there's no power brick, there's no control box or anything like that. So it's going to be a single head 1200. I don't know. Interesting, but I mean, it could be expensive. It could, if it's got like 10 chips in there, it's easy for it to become brighter, right? If you've got RGB, and which we'll talk about the Profoto in a minute, which uses the triple white chips, you can get a far brighter light because and far brighter colors because you're able to mix it with multiple chips being on at the same time. So when you just have pure red coming through your LED light, it's not very bright because you're only using one of the 3 chips in like a cheap LED head, right? So maybe like this 1200 head, because it's just got so many chips in it, they're able to get a ton of power out of it. Do not know. do not know how they're going to do it. But I am skeptical that they're able to make a single unit without a control box or anything like that, ballast or anything, modifying or adapting the power. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Interesting though. Interesting. And again, it's always good to see what brands are doing and pushing it forward. And ultimately, it's good for us, right, as the consumer. Yeah. At some point, one of us should just get a Sekonic spectrometer and start posting those graphs online. Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, it's true. How much are they? Did you say they were super expensive, Vlad? These spectrometer things. So what Vlad's talking about there is basically a color meter, is what we used to use years ago. But yeah, I haven't seen one in forever. Yeah, just nobody uses them anymore. Yeah. So that's kind of, that was definitely the biggest interesting point for me at the Godox stand. Yeah, the LED tube with RGB on one side and then a daylight flash on the other side. I honestly don't know who that's for. But this palette light with those colors and the graph that she showed me, she was very, very proud of the graph that they had there. And I mean, yeah, looked good. So I wonder what they're doing with that. Yeah, $2,000, was it really? Whew. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. These things. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I used to use this when I was an assistant in London, but I didn't actually know what I was doing at the time. Like the photographer would go, would tell you to go over there, take a reading. I had no idea what I was looking at the time. But this is back in the film days. Yeah. Super nerdy stuff, and again, it's going to be useful for cinematographers and that sort of stuff, but less useful for us, especially seeing as we can tweak a lot of this in post anyway. Yeah. Number shows the graph. Color meter just tells you the color of light in the room, maybe green, magenta deviation. They are not the same thing. Sekonic C800 is the new one. Yeah, you're desperate to get one, man. Yeah, I mean, look, it is interesting to see what some of these lights are doing and how realistic they are. Yeah. I'm just looking at this graph. Yeah. Oh, it's just the J at the bottom there. It's the comparison of evening, morning, and midday. Yeah. Okay. Was anybody else remember anything from the photo show that they thought was pretty cool? I'll have a look at. Nothing else jumped out at me that was new. Like I said, I didn't really have my meeting at Nanlite that I was hoping to, because he got his flight got cancelled from Dubai. But this was the new projection unit that Nanlite has released, and I think this bit in the middle here is kind of like some form of plastic, and then the rest is metal here. So I was kind of interested with this because the current one that Nanlite has weighs, what do we say, 12 kilos or something like that. It's just weighed an absolute ton. And this newer version is so you can change the zoom factor on it. But more importantly for me is that it's more lightweight. It's more practical to take with you, and because I love the monster that they have for when I'm in the studio. But if I'm going on location, I just take their baby one. So they have like a baby LED head that they make, and which I've got, and they make a baby projection spot that goes on it. And to be fair, really good. Let me just see if I can. It weighs nothing, and it goes in I can put both the light and the thing in a rucksack, and you're good. Yeah. I don't even know what that baby light is called. Is it the FC? No, the FCs are the big ones, I think. Oh, no. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So they sent this to me. This is, again, one of those things that they sent it to me a while ago. And what am I going to do with this little baby light? You know, some YouTuber light. What am I going to do with that? It's really good. It's only 120, full color RGB, super lightweight, and yeah, tiny little thing. It's not full S-fit, but it comes with a Bowens adapter. There you go, in the box, and I use it with the projection unit that they have that's designed for that size. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, and it's great. It absolutely perfect for location shoot. Like I said, you can put the whole thing in just one rucksack. Boom. Yeah, love it. But the unit that they've just brought out, like the bigger boy, I really wanted to see, which is like the more lightweight version for S-Fit. So yeah, hopefully I can test that one out as well. Let's play one, to be honest, and be able to keep brand accountable on their marketing. Yeah, I wonder what when they track that, like how perfect the laboratory setting is that they have those colors fixed to, and how much fluctuation these LEDs have over time, because you know LEDs are relatively new tech to the point that we're kind of only starting to see LEDs that are 10 years old now, right? And ARRI is running into this problem with their sky panels, where they're coming to the end of their life. So sky panels has made ARRI so much money. It's a huge, incredible product, but it's like over 10 years old now, I think. And although, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of these things were shipped into rental houses and used on movie sets and TV sets all over the world, they're coming to the end of their life cycle at 10 years. So we're starting to see the limits of LEDs now, like they've been around long enough for us to see where they start to fall down. So yeah, to Vlad's point there, it would be interesting to kind of see what the best case scenario is for these lights and how much it drops off. Like, okay, let's do the same test in a year's time. Like, how much does it actually change and that sort of thing? I'd be curious. Yeah. But obviously that would be $2,000 and the cost of every light not happening anytime soon. Yeah, it's a huge investment for something that is just kind of, you know, interesting. Yeah, it'd be cool to have. They fluctuate even when they get hot. That's true. Yeah. I mean, Flash used to do that as well, to be fair. So I mean, yeah. There's no real getting away from it. Danny says, in your conversations with the MFC, do they plan on creating a constant flash to compete with Profoto? With MFC, you just mean manufacturers in general? A constant flash to compete with Profoto. If you're referring to Godox, I did, because they were keen to, you know, because they were asking me about the L600, right? They were saying, you know, how was it and all that sort of stuff, and you know, what my thoughts on it, and I am really impressed with it. And then, you know, I was like, is it something that you guys are going to be doing as well, like RGB flash and that sort of stuff? And they tested the daylight flash, so yeah, just the daylight flash for LEDs, and it really didn't take off. So I don't think that it's anything that they're investing any time into, Danny, if you mean the Godox people, based on that response that they had, right? Because they tested flashing LEDs in just the daylight form, and there was no traction on it at all. And this was a couple of years ago, right? This was after Rotolight had done it, but there wasn't much traction. So I don't think they have any inkling to kind of push it any further. Yeah. Hey man, how you doing, mate? Yeah. Okay, so speaking of all that, then let's bring up this Profoto thing and have a chat about what I've been doing with Profoto. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Where is it? Yeah. So, if you're not aware, right, Profoto. I mean, I'm sure most of us here are aware of Profoto and where they sit in the industry, and like the type of quality of light that they make and who it's for and that sort of stuff. They're definitely the Ferrari level, Mercedes level, even lighting brand, right? So yeah, beautiful lights, very well made, and look great, right? Look gorgeous, but not cheap. Yeah, and Profoto has been around forever, and I would say that Profoto does a very good job of getting their lights into rental houses and like a lot of like art colleges and that sort of stuff will have Profoto heads in them, and a lot of us will kind of learn on Profoto heads, and we need to understand how Profoto flashes work. So what I mean by that is, if you go into practically any studio, rental studio, half decent one, they're going to have Profoto heads in them, right? And this was always the case when we were assisting. It was whenever I would turn up at a studio years ago, it would always be Profoto heads. You needed to know how to use Profoto heads, because if you're renting gear, it was always Profoto. Now, it's kind of not as prevalent now because, a lot of us here are, trying to save money and that sort of stuff. So we'll go to studios that maybe don't, like, we'll use smaller studios that maybe don't have tons of Profoto kit. But Profoto is kind of one of those things that if you're going to be, going the professional, big city photographer route, assisting and that sort of stuff, you need to know how to use Profoto heads. So definitely been a big player in the industry, but let's be honest, right? They're not cheap. They are not cheap, right? So last year and a couple of years ago, Profoto started to dabble in LED lighting, right? And they brought out their original LED head, which was the 1600D here. This thing is a monster, absolute monster. What did we say? It was like 12 kilos or something like that. I mean, it's like $5,500 head. It's not RGB. And, Profoto is looking at the cinema line of filmmakers and people who are doing, maybe hybrid shooters, but cinema, rental houses, that's where it's at. Now, Profoto's also struck a deal with Panavision or Panalux. So they are, kind of in each other's pockets. And Profoto are getting a lot of these units into rental houses again, right? So these LED heads are, again, not cheap, but they are for rental houses. And last year they brought out these new two heads here. So one, the L600D, which is the daylight, and then the L600C, which is the color one, which is the one that I was interested in, and the one that they commissioned me to shoot several campaigns for them the end of last year. I did 4 shoots for them in the end using this head. Okay, and in fact, let's have a look at, because they released a bunch of videos. Right, they released a bunch of videos I plucked up the courage to watch the other day. So we can just watch one of these and see what they're doing.
Hi, I'm Jake Hicks.
I'm just looking at the volume here.
Fashion editorial and portrait shooter here in London, UK.
Let me know if the volume
My
needs
work
to be
is probably known for being quite bright,
higher or lower.
colourful, very vibrant. I'm always trying to make an image that's eye-catching, that's going to catch somebody's attention. Today we're in the studio shooting with the Profoto L600Cs. My goal was to really kind of test these lights, right? It's not very well coming down and just doing a couple of white light headshots, but I wanted to kind of put them through their paces, as it were. As soon as I took them out of the box and put them on the stand, it was immediately obvious that these were beautiful lights. Lightweight, like no ballast, and of course all that power in that small package as well. Ease of use as well in terms of shooting stills and video. I think we're all being asked to shoot more and more video, whether it be for socials or BTS. So having the ability to switch without having to bring multiple lights to the set, best of both really. I think you have just so much creative freedom with these, especially how many functions and features that are in these lights. But as I'm sure you're aware, like color is going to be the make or break. All these features and bells and whistles are nice, but you know, the color needs to stand up, and it absolutely did. And you can see that in the shots. Like we got some absolutely incredible colors from these. And I'm not just talking about the 16 million colors that they have, I'm talking about the Kelvin range as well. It's a huge Kelvin range. We were shooting at 2000 Kelvin and 15,000 Kelvin. Like just no other LED can do that I'm aware of. Having the ability for these to flash, especially in HSS, is outstanding. It makes it very easy to mix them with flash and LEDs in the same shot. So there was a setup we were doing there today where we were mixing in the B20s with the L600s, and super simple, right? Just absolutely seamless. The L600s are able to take on all of the Profoto modifiers. You got a lot to choose from. But the ones I was actually really impressed with was the umbrellas, like those deep umbrellas, especially with the colors. Being able to have a flash, full RGB, and you can modify that into any shape you want is huge. One of the things that I'm looking forward to most is what these new lights can bring to me and my work. What am I able to do that I wasn't able to do before? Like experimenting with a slight bit of motion in the shutter speed and that sort of thing, which again, is something I didn't realize. The Kelvin range, again, I just never used that in strobes because you don't have that option. I think there is lots to be discovered with these new lights and new ways of shooting that maybe I haven't even found yet. Really impressed with the results. Yeah, gorgeous images, all there.
So cool video from the guys that put it together on the day. So what are we doing here with this? Yeah, so these L600, L600Cs here, and the things that I was being asked to kind of showcase what we got. I think we got four shoots there. We had the Kelvin one. All right, let me just bring up the images as well so you can see them, because the images are a little bit flat on the video. Let's have a look. Let's see. Yes, we got the Kelvin ones, right? That was one of the shots, or one of the setups, because one of the features of the L600 is this huge Kelvin range that they have, and it's, I think, what did I say, it was 2000 Kelvin all the way up to 15,000, right? Sort of massive Kelvin range, and that's possible due to them having 3 white chips in the head. Now, why is that relevant? For a lot of LEDs, daylight LEDs, they'll just have the 2 white chips. So they'll have one at, I don't know, like 3,500 Kelvin, and then maybe they'll have one at 5,500, 6,000 Kelvin or something like that. And that's what gives them this kind of bi-color, right? And then when they're on, when both of those LED, all those chips are on, that's when you get the maximum power. So that's why people say it's brightest at around, like, setting your light to about 5,600 Kelvin is when it's brightest, because they're using both chips simultaneously, as opposed to you kind of lose half a stop if you're shooting at 3,000, or you lose half a stop if you're shooting at 7,500, for example. So this has 3 chips. So there's a couple of things that does. One, it gives you this very, very deep Kelvin range, right? Now, I kind of speak about this in articles and that sort of thing, but I'll just mention it here, that it's becoming more and more common for other LED brands today to kind of fudge the numbers when it comes to their Kelvin range, right? And look, I'm just going to call out Godox on this, because like they do it and I'm kind of wary of it. So they say that their RGB lights go down to like 2000 Kelvin. They don't really, they're just fudging the numbers a little bit on that Kelvin by using the red and green chips from the RGB to create yellow, right? Which is what happens when you mix those 2 colors together, to kind of cheat the Kelvin, right? Now, for the most part, like most normal people are not going to notice this, but when I'm using them, I can see that there's green in those colors, right? Because they are using the green chip when they're down there in the 2000 Kelvin range. And look, like, what are we talking about here? Like, we're talking about niche cases, right? We're talking about very niche cases. But some of the cinematic shots that I've done where I'm using that very deep color contrast, and I'm down there in the 2000 Kelvins, I can see that there's green in that color because they're fudging the numbers. Now the Profoto ones are not doing that because they're using those 3 white chips. So and I forget, I think I wrote in the article exactly where the chips are. I think one is like 1800, one is like 5, and then one is like 1200 or something like that. I don't know, but they've got these three white chips that enables you to have these very rich and very clean Kelvin colors, which is what we're seeing here, and is what was immediately noticeable in these shots. We'll look at the more detailed video at the end if you can sit through the pregnant middle-aged white man talking at you. But the colors that the video guys are showing is just straight out of camera. Like, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now it does mean that those triple white chips are doing a lot for the rest of the colors in the spectrum as well. So Profoto are using those 3 white chips to bolster their color range. And to me, it was very noticeable as soon as you turn them on how rich and saturated some of these colors are, because they're bolstering it with these white chips. And it's a clever idea, and it's pretty effective, and it enables you to get pretty bright colors and very vibrant colors. And I think I mentioned it in one of the videos as well about the deep white umbrella. I managed to get one from Profoto to send over, because these L600s fired into that beautiful deep white umbrella. The colors was just this huge wash of color, was absolutely outstanding. So we spoke before about the glare from aperture and what they were doing with the 5 chips. I think Nanlite is supposedly supposed to have 8. I need to look at that. This Profoto one is going in a different way. So rather than adding like the lime and amber and indigo that aperture is doing, what Profoto is doing is they're doing it with the 3 white chips, the 3 Kelvin chips, and it's actually more effective than I thought it was going to be with some of these colors, right? And speaking of colors, like the other set that wanted me to do was to kind of show off some of the colors that these lights had, right? And again, like, it was just beautifully rich colors straight away. But I mean, that's kind of like you'd expect that, right? I mean, everybody touts the 16 million plus colors and that sort of thing. But yeah, really impressed with immediately how they looked in those umbrellas. And again, like, I think in the video that we'll look at the end, you see the video guys, which they're not cranking anything too much in post, and it's just looked beautiful straight out of camera. Yeah. So the other setup I was doing was to kind of demonstrate the fact that these LED heads can flash as well, right? So they have the ability to flash. So in these shots here, and I'll go into it in a bit more detail later on, you've got ambient behind, and then you've got I'm actually using a B20 flash on her there, but then behind me, the blue is coming from the L600, and that's flashing as well as ambient, right? So that's giving me a little bit of blue in there, in the front here, as well as the ambient as well. So again, trying to show off some of the qualities of this light, right? I wanted to do the Kelvin, obviously the colors, and then the flash as well. And then lastly, we did this very, very cool cinematic set at the back of the studio. And again, it was kind of me looking at how we could integrate these kind of LED lights into an ambient situation, right? So I'm trying to blend the lighting that I'm bringing, the supplemental lighting, with the environmental light that is there on the day. Yeah. Now, typically these lights are very, very dim. So flash, sure, you can use ND gels and that sort of stuff, but it's kind of tricky with flash sometimes to get them low enough power to integrate them into these low light settings. So again, I think we can see in the video, but I think that like the LEDs are like 13% power or something like that. So very easy to kind of implement them or integrate them into this environmental lighting at the end here. And again, the colors makes it very, very easy to do that. So you're having this kind of more organic shot, and I'm using Kelvins here on the lights to give us this kind of beautiful color on the skin. Yeah. So those were the 4 shoots that I did for them. And again, like the purpose of that was to showcase some of the what I thought were some of the most important aspects of these new lights. Yeah. So yeah, we've got them here. I'll just check my questions here. So I need your opinion. I've shot with the Rotolite for 8 years and I love them, but these look so much better and can use modifiers. Would you sell the Rotolite EOS2 for the L600Cs? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. The reason being for that, Danny, is because the EOS is that bigger panel, right? That EOS is that bigger panel. Now, to be fair, I was actually using the L600s with their new Beauty Dish, which doesn't have that dark spot in it, and it's really, really good. Beautiful light. Where is it? Let's have a look. Shop by products. So it's only that their new Beauty Dish or whatever it's called. Well, it's not, hasn't been out too long. Yeah, so this is the old one, right, from Profoto. This is the old one, and I was using that on the day of this shoot. Oh, give me 2 seconds. I'll show you. Right, this is the issue with that one that I'm not a fan of. Is this dark spot here, which is not ideal, in my opinion. Right, and that's because it's very shallow, and the plate is practically at the front of it, and that sort of stuff. Okay, but anyway, the new one that they brought out is outstanding. So I used this in Boston a few weeks ago now, and this thing is gorgeous. This thing is outstanding on the L600. Obviously it's round and that sort of stuff. The dish is like way deeper into it, so you don't get the dark spot. You've got this beautiful fabric that is great at dispersing the light. The size is great. I mean, it pops up in one. Like all the Profoto stuff is expensive. Don't get me wrong, but this is night and day different to that old Beauty Dish that they had, right? And this on the L600 is great. And the reason for that, Danny, with the EOS is just because that I think that 12-inch EOS light for a key light is absolutely beautiful. It is. So would I get rid of them? No. Could I augment it and use them in the same shoot? Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Since says, what filter are you using? Don't think you mentioned it in the Technique Tuesday article. That is the Lee low contrast filter, Sin. So it's a good question. They don't show it in the video either, but yeah, that's the Lee low contrast filter, and that's that thing. If you can get your hand, like, again, that's not cheap, but that low contrast filter is absolutely beautiful. It's nowhere near as flary as the fancy Black Pro Mists and all that crap. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely, yeah. Beautiful filter. I love that filter, right? And it's kind of subtle enough that you barely know that somebody's using it, but it gives you a beautiful data in the shadows. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, highly recommend that Lee low contrast filter, yeah, if you can still get it. Yeah. What was Andre was saying about the? Yeah, you're right. Most rental houses have them in LA. Yeah, it's just like it's the same in London, Andre. Yeah, like they all have Profoto kit in the rental houses. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, morning, man. How you doing? Yeah. What time is it in Australia for you, Tony? Yeah. Could you manage without battery power with the EOS? Oh, so Steve mentions a point here. So he says, he's talking to Danny, says, could you manage without the battery power that the EOS 2 is around 120 watts to use at 5 times the power? So Steve mentions a good point there, in that the EOS you can run on a battery. That is a really good point. Yeah, these Profoto heads, these L600s are you could use them with a with some sort of power pack and that sort of stuff. Sure, but yeah, it's not going to be as convenient as the EOS, just having a battery on the back. As a really good point, Steve. Yeah. 7:30 in the morning in Australia. Nice one, Tony. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a quick look at the head here. Let's have a look. So, like, this is the full unit, so there's no control box or ballast or anything like that. And I'll put it on the stand in a minute, and I'll hook up my mobile phone to kind of stream the back of the light, because I want to talk about a couple of the things that it does. Now, I mean, it's not light, but it's certainly, for a 600 watt head LED, everything that it's doing, it's and you know, it doesn't have the the ballast. Like if you look at the equivalent like aperture heads and that sort of stuff with the control box and that sort of stuff, it's a lot of weight. Yeah, a lot of weight. Okay, let's kind of put this head on the stand and see if I can get the phone to show you the back of the screen. I'll switch this desk to standing mode. So we can do that. What's kind of super interesting about this head as well, it's water cooled, so the fan doesn't get loud at all, even when it's been on for a long period of time. Doesn't get loud at all. It's in fact like the volume it is now is the volume it always is, because it's using water cooling. It's not using fans spinning around and that sort of stuff. But it is weird when you turn it on. It's like glugging as it's getting the water going. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can get this phone sorted then. I don't really do it. There we go. I think it's that. I think that should be it. We'll see. That's kind of annoying because I tested it. Oh, that's kind of annoying. I'll try once more, otherwise I'll just have to pack it in. But always a way, right? That sucks. I definitely tested it before we went live as well. That's annoying. Yeah, I'll just close everything just in case that helps. But it's not the end of the world. I can just kind of go over a couple of bits that I thought were kind of interesting. Yeah, but yeah, again, not the end of the world. Yeah. Okay. Just let me, I'm just going to see, 2 seconds. Okay. So I guess you guys can see all of that, right? That's the only thing you can see, though. Oh, okay. not the end of the world, I guess. Keyboard cam, can I put this down here? Yeah, you guys can see that? I think you can. I think that's what you guys are seeing. Yeah. 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 Suggest a crash. I know, mate. I know. Yeah. If something's going to go wrong, if something's possible to go wrong, I will find it. Yeah. 60 quid for the. Yeah. 60 quid for the filter. Okay, Alan. Okay, nice. Yeah. A killer model instantly decides of it. What grade of lead filter? I think I use a full one. I think I use a full. Yeah. It's just a crash helmet for demo. True. Yeah. Do they have a head in the? Do they have a head in the water tank at the show? Head in the water tank? What do you mean? Oh, I mean there was a light being demoed in a water tank. Yeah. Do you have to fill the light up with water occasionally? No, you do not. No. The success of the demo is inversely proportional to the importance of the audience tank. Okay. Can you guys somebody just confirm that you can see this back of this head, and I will just carry on. So obviously we got the percent, right? Nothing crazy, pretty standard. Off and on. We have the ability to change to HSI here, which is the RGB value, right? Then we've got the XY version here, which we can change. This always changes the power, and then here we can change on there. Like nothing crazy so far, right? Pretty standard. You got actual gels there as well, so they got a bunch of decent gels in there, and then the RGB and white, right? So pretty standard so far. Yeah. Okay. Nobody's confirmed that you can see it yet, so can you see it or not? I guess can I see my own stream on? I'm using the phone. Fuck, I can't even do that. Okay, literally on the phone. Okay. So the other thing here is going to be the DMX, which is like for the pretty standard stuff for these big lights. The other thing, you've got the wireless thing, and in the non. Thank you, Maz. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay. So in the wireless mode, this is where we can kind of access the flash, right? So we've got the Ceramax receiver, but then we have the Profoto Air. Now this is where the head switches into flash mode. So if you can see up here, right, it's changed from a percentage to the stops. Yeah, and then you can flash it using the trigger, right? The reason why I find this interesting is that this is really one of the only lights that brings the old stops back from that we used to have on flashes, right? Because if you think about like I've just got the trigger here. I'm just going to turn this on. If you think about the old, all the old flash units that we had, it was all done in one stops, right? So you could go, okay, I'm going to move this light a little bit. I want to turn it down by one stop, or I want to change my aperture to, from 2.8 to f4. I can quickly go over to the light and turn it down one stop, right? But with most modern LEDs, so I can control the power of it here now. But most modern LEDs are done in percents. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One of which stems from the fact that a lot of the older LEDs were panels, right? And as soon as you go away from that single point of light, which we're used to with flash, right? It's a single point of light. The inverse square law applies to a single point of light. Double the distance, quarter the light, that sort of stuff. But as soon as you start to go away from that single point of light and go into a panel which is like maybe 500 points of light, right? The inverse square law doesn't apply to that, and therefore it's far harder to change the light by one stop each time, right? You kind of have this curve of this drop off, right? Because light doesn't drop off in the same way from a panel as it does from a single point of light. Now, what Profoto is doing here is they're they're kind of acknowledging the fact that, well, this is now a cob light, which is a single point of light, and that means that they can now adjust the power, because it's coming from a single point, in stops again, which is like really cool if you're a fucking uber nerd. But yeah. So it does mean that these are now stops. So, you know, we can go, okay, so that, and we want to increase the power of this light now by 1 stop. Oh, I can do it here on the thing. I can increase it by 1 stop and it will go up by 1 stop, or double the power, or, you know, and you can adjust your camera accordingly. That's not the same with a lot of LED panels because it's percentage, right? So, for example, if you're at 10% power, you may go to 20% power, and that'll be a stop of light. But if you're at 70% power, maybe you'll need to go all the way up to 88% power to give you 1 more stop of light, right? That curve kind of drops off as you get higher and higher up. Okay, so small thing, but being able to adjust the power in stops makes life pretty easy, I suppose, if you're used to it. Like, you know, those of us who are used to using flash, adjusting the power of flashes in stops, then very easy to do. Translates from the light, from the trigger into the camera very, very easily. Yeah. So that's, yes, so that's that. So you have your, you know, your flash that you can use, and that you can control that from the camera pretty easily with the Profoto or Air remote or whatever these things are called, right? So that's that. So, I mean, the light mode is just the different ones that we were looking at earlier on, just in a menu format here, right? We got the CCD output, you got the color space. So this is interesting for video, right? So what this means is that you can go in here and you can specifically dictate the color space that this light will give you. So like here we've got what, Rec 709, and you got Rec 2020. So you can specifically dictate what colors you can adjust this light to, so that you're not giving yourself, or you're not giving your set colors that your camera can't see, right? So like the Rec 709 color profile won't be able to see certain blues or whatever. So when you set your light to this, it stops you from choosing blues within the HSI or whatever that Rec 709 can't see, right? Again, pretty nerdy, not going to be super useful for us photographers, but this is a cinema light, hybrid light at best, and these are some of the kind of the features that it has. So again, not going to be useful to many of us here who only shoot stills, but yeah, if you're shooting video, I'm sure we'll start to see way more of this. So we got auto on, that sort of stuff, the fan, auto, yeah. Input power limit, so you can adjust the power that this head is set to, right? So at the moment it's at full power at 600, but you can set the head to only go at 450. So this is useful if you're plugging several into a single generator or something like that only has, like, let's say the generator is a 1,000 watt generator, then you can't run 2 of these 600 heads at full power. So you could go, okay, let's just fix both of them at 400. So now we can never kill the generator by running these 2 heads. The other thing that this is useful for, when we were shooting on the day here on set, we had that spot that I was using in the full color set. I'll show it to you when we look at the video, and that, like, they were kind of conscious of, look, you can really only put a 300 watt head through that spot because it's going to get too hot, right? So you can go in here and go, okay, so, which is what we did. We kind of, okay, cool. So we set this light to a maximum of 300 watts, which is half power on the head. And that meant that when I was up there on the stand adjusting the power, I couldn't overcook that modifier because I could never set this light above 300. Little thing, but it's useful mainly, I think, for power draw, right? When you're on set and you're trying to deal with, you've only got a certain number of watts from a generator or house and that sort of thing if you're plugging them into the house socket, right? So again, kind of gives you a little bit of control as to what your output is. So just display, nothing crazy there. I've set the brightness to low just for the phone there. Okay, yeah. So I've kind of covered the fact that you can limit the power if need be as well, right? Oh, and the stops of power. Stops of power is super useful. Yeah, use it way more than you think, and maybe for like newer people who aren't kind of aren't used to dealing with stops of power with flash, like it's less prevalent, but being able to adjust them, you know, via this in kind of whole stops does kind of make life pretty easy. Yeah. We spoke previous streams about the banding and that sort of stuff, where we would start to get banding at certain shutter speeds, like anything above 250 or 500th of a second. Sometimes, you know, you would start to see this weird banding. I tested this all the way up to like 8,000th of a second, and yeah, I couldn't see anything at all. And again, that's to deal with, I forget the terminology that they use in there, but like the dimming that they have in there means that there is no fluctuation that you need to worry about. So Tony, you know, you were using those lights before that were giving you that weird banding effect. So again, like it's just not possible to get that banding with a unit like this. Yeah. I think that's all I was going to show you on the back of the light there. Nothing crazy, but still, it just kind of speaks to some of the features that I think we may see filtering down in years to come to more kind of entry-level units. But at the moment, it's interesting to see what the kind of cinema-level lights are doing with it. Yeah. Bit behind rotor lights, touchscreen controls. I mean, that's the weird thing, Sin, about touchscreens. I don't know why more lights don't have those. Like, it's. I love those touchscreens on the rotor lights. You can literally get to anywhere in two taps. You know, you literally go to any color. You know, boom, that's the color I want. Boom, and slide it to the power you want. Just like instantly. I don't know why more units don't have these touchscreens. I can't believe it's super expensive in this day and age, but like nobody does it apart from Rotolight. I mean, and unless I'm missing something on the touchscreens, yeah, it's weird. Yeah. I guess the banding is a frequency issue. 100%. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it's to do with the way that certain LEDs are made and the way that they modulate. I think it's to do. I forget the terminology, but yeah, it's like a modulation thing. Yeah. Okay. I think I was always going to talk about that. So let's have a look then at, now that we've had a look at the light, maybe have a look at this other video here, which is a little bit longer, but goes into a little bit more detail with regards to some of the shoots that I was doing. Okay. This one's 5 minutes long, so you're going to have to, yeah.
Hello, my name's Hicks. I'm a fashion editorial portrait shooter here in London, UK. And today we're in the studio shooting with the Profoto L600Cs. These are the new heads that are touted as faster, lighter, brighter. I feel very privileged to be asked down to test these lights, put them through their paces, as it were. So yeah, 4 setups. Let's see how we get on. For this setup, super simple, only being 2 lights, and we're just going to be using extreme Kelvin ranges. So at the back here behind the model, we're using the Profoto 4-foot softbox, and it's going to be on the L600C. We're using the HSS function on these lights. The light's going to be super close to the model, so it can be pretty oppressive. So the flash is really going to help soften that. This one back here is set to 2000 Kelvin, so super warm, really rich oranges. And then contrasting that, coming around to the front here, which is going to be our key light on the model, another L6.
You see that video of them shooting with like the colors on her skin. It's wild.
600C using the deep extra large white umbrella. And this one, the opposite end of the Kelvin range at 15,000 Kelvins. And then what I'm going to be doing is setting my camera Kelvin somewhere in the middle of that, around about 5,000 or 6,000, and then we'll have these beautiful.
So again, you can see me using that, using the
what I'm going to be doing
trigger.
Is setting my camera Kelvin somewhere in the middle of
trigger, because these are flashing, right? And again, it was like one of the things we were looking at as trying not to blind the model, right? Try not to blind the model with these very bright lights, which is something that some people are concerned about as LEDs get brighter and brighter. So what I'm doing there and what you're seeing in the video is kind of a lower power from the ambient or the LED, so that the model isn't squinting into that massive umbrella sat right in front of her, like 4 feet away, and it's the flash that is actually capturing the image at a far brighter rate. Right, so it's easier to work with on the models.
Of that, around about 5,000 or 6,000, and then we'll have these beautiful, rich blues and oranges from front and back. So with that out of the way, let's take some shots.
So I've just got the actual Lee holder on there, but I don't actually have the filter in that one. Look at that, old D850. Good times, man. Good times. Good times. I wanted to propose to Profoto that we said basically at the end, it ain't the camera. Basically saying that like we're getting these shots on this old relic of a camera. It's got nothing to do with the camera. Yeah.
These are looking great. Really good. Okay. Of course, the other huge bonus of using LEDs, you can just quickly and easily switch to.
Look at this. Look at this. Look what they made me do. Look what they made me do. Use the viewfinder, use whatever it is, the screen here, the live view on the old D850, because they said we need to kind of show you shooting video, and they saw what camera I had. And they were like, you know what? We're going to capture the video. We'll just pretend that you're capturing the video here. Yeah.
Shooting some video as well. Really impressed with the results. So in this next setup, we're going to be doing a mix of flash and ambient. There's going to be a long exposure shot, leaving my camera shutter open by ½ a second. We'll start off with our background light here. This is the Profoto L600C. So this is just going to be set to ambient. No flash on this one. Kelvin on this is around about 6,000 Kelvin. So just to cool it down a little bit, during that ½ a second exposure, there's going to be this slight echo. You couple that echo with a crisp captured image in the foreground, which is going to be the flash. If we come over here to our model Jordan, our key light here, which is going to be illuminating her, is the Profoto B20.
So again, that's using that old beauty dish from Profoto there, but pretty close to it. I'm shooting directly underneath that. The B20 I think was on there as well, but set fairly low. And we've got that L600 behind there. I think it was set pretty cool as well. So again, like this is flashing, but the big umbrella behind me is flashing, but it has a little bit of ambient too, right? And I'll show you the result of that in a second.
So just flash on this one, no ambient on this. Color on that is just going to be around about my camera Kelvin, which is about 5,000. And then lastly, behind me, we're going to have another L600C, which is going to be set to flash. Going to have a nice strong blue color filling in the shadows on this one. It's also worth noting that everything can be controlled from the Connect Pro here, the Profoto trigger, and that's going to be able to control both the L600s and the B20s.
So let me just show you the images from that, just to show you what I mean. What was kind of interesting about this is because that blue light behind me is flashing, but I do have some ambient on there as well from the LED, and you can see that in some of the shots here, right, where you get a little bit of motion on that, which is kind of cool. Now I opted to use a little bit of ambient there just to make it a little bit easier to focus, right? Because you've got to remember, it's like this long exposure setup, it's only ½ a second, but still you need it to be very dark. When they're filming me at the end there, we got lots of lights on and that sort of thing, but we can't have any light on her face really, because it's during ½ a second it's going to be blurred. Like these images are very crisp, but having a little bit of ambient light behind me in that blue does mean that it picks up on some of the highlights there. So I think you can see it. Yeah, you see the ghosting on the earring there as well, right? Where it's just catching some of that, which was actually kind of a cool effect. So again, it is flashing, but there's a little bit of ambient, and it's just picking up on some of the highlights. Yeah.
Makes life very easy. So let's take some shots.
That kind of slapping noise that you can hear, like I know in case there's anybody under the age of 35 in the stream, like
easy. So let's take some shots.
Like that's what a camera sounds like. It's just, you might not have heard it before, but like that noise, that's what camera sounds like. It's just in case you might not have heard it before.
So with the stills done, let's get some video now. Absolutely beautiful. So in this editorial style set, we're going to be using a lot of color.
These big umbrellas, absolutely just, I immediately, when I got back, I was like, I gotta get these deep umbrellas, these beautiful white umbrellas. Like the color wash that you get from these was outstanding. It really was, like, phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
Some color on this one, no white lights at all being used here. I'm using 3 of the Profoto L600Cs. So we got one here with a nice dusty blue on it. This is a white, deep, extra large umbrella. At the back there, we've got a spot small on another L600.
So this is the one that we had to limit the power on. So this head has been limited to 300 watts because really this unit here, you know, really shouldn't have any more than a 300 watt LED running it. They were kind of concerned that it was going to get hot. I don't know. I think it probably would have been fine, but I mean, it's just kind of a useful case study for being able to limit the power of this, so that you know, you just got to make sure that you remember to unlimit it afterwards, because otherwise it's just going to throw your powers off. But yeah,
100, nice strong vibrant orange coming in on that one. The background we actually using a flash just to give us a pop of color on the background with the gel there. That's with the Profoto V20. And then over here, lastly, we have a deep white large umbrella on the L600C there as well, again with a nice soft dusty pink coming in. We're only using them at 30% power here, so they're super bright. So let's shoot some shots and see how we go. Brilliant, brilliant.
So again, I'll just show you them like a little bit, they're knocked back a little bit in the video, but yeah, styling did a great job with that outfit. Yeah, the outfit was absolutely perfect for it. But yeah, beautiful, rich colors. Yeah, and you can see that spot coming in from the other side there.
Love how these have turned out, looking really good. Now it's time to grab some video as well. So for the last setup of the day, we actually
again, look at that's the video, right? I mean, they're not doing anything funky in post there, and it just looks absolutely, yeah, great. Just checking these questions before I move on.
The last setup of the day.
Give me 3 knobs, 1 for power, 1 for hue, and 1 for saturation. I'm happy without a touchscreen, but most brands only add 2 knobs. Yeah, that is true, actually. You're absolutely right, Vlad. Yeah, 1 extra knob would cover it, and that's all it would take. And they're not expensive. Yeah. So can you create a number of profiles on these heads, save them, and then recall them as when required? So Maz says, possibly using the app. You can definitely do it on the app. You can definitely save profiles in the app. You can't save profiles in the lights. Yeah. I'm just thinking about what the ability is in there, but yeah, you can definitely do it on the app, but not the lights themselves. Yeah. Looks a lot of fun playing with all the lighting. Yeah, it was like we got a ton done in that one day. Because you remember, like, they're shooting the video as well for each of these setups, and they had to go through. I mean, so much of it is cut, right? Because of the attention span of the younger generation means that every video can't be longer than 8 seconds. So a ton of it was cut, but obviously they need to make sure they've got everything. Yeah, so we got a ton done on the day. Yeah. Love these shots. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. About the camera clicks, we had one on the last stream. It's called noisy mode. It's white vinyl on the inside, is it? It is, Andre. Yeah, it is. It's something that it's not the normal. It's a great question, by the way, because it's not like traditional white umbrellas that I've had in the past, which is kind of like white fabric, it's like white nylon has been on the inside of these umbrellas. But you're absolutely right, Andre, to ask that, and it is this beautiful kind of white vinyl. I'm sure you probably hit the nail on the head, and whatever it's doing is like it's not giving you any hot spots at all. It's whatever they've done on the inside. I mean, they're obviously super expensive, right? But yeah, they do look great. Yeah.
Today we actually switched away from the studio into more of an ambient set, more of a cinematic style shot with.
So you mentioned you heard me mentioning about trying to mix these lights with the ambient lights on set. So this is the back of the studio now, so this is behind where we were shooting, and trying to get this kind of more organic cinematic style shot at the back of the studio, but we're having to use the lights that are on the wall here, which are very, very low powered lights. So that was kind of my thinking was, okay, how can we show off like the benefits of using LEDs here, which would be tricky to do with flash because they're very overpowered, right? So again, like we're using, I think you actually see the back of the lights in here, like 12% or something. So trying to mix your lighting with the ambient lighting on set.
Some LEDs just trying to match the ambient lights that we've already got. So the fill light in this scene is going to be the L600C with the extra large deep white umbrella set to very warm Kelvin 2000. Next up, we've got the white zoom reflector back here on another L600C. That's going to be our hard light coming in. We've got the white, large deep white umbrella set to very warm Kelvin.
Yeah, like 7.8% or something back there. So and that's the fill light at the back. Yeah.
Kelvin 2000. Next up, we've got the white zoom reflector back here on another L600C. That's going to be our hard light coming in. And then lastly, another L600C.
So and our key light there is 13.5%. And that beauty dish takes away a chunk as well. I will say that this is kind of a minor thing that might not be relevant to everybody, but I really appreciate lights that go down in these smaller increments, right? There's just that you can micromanage, because this is 13.5%, so it goes up in tenths as well. And it may seem like, oh Christ, Jake, did you really need that? Like honestly, you use it more than you think. Yeah. So having the ability to not just go in whole percents, believe it or not, is something that I found pretty useful.
See with a beauty dish. This is set to around about 5,500 just to take off the edge with the sock on, just to soften up a little bit. So with that out of the way, let's take some shots.
Using that low contrast filter here again. I take the mick out of that D850, but that 85mm prime that I'm using is gorgeous. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Surprisingly sharp for that old relic of a camera as well.
So in terms of living up to the promise of faster, lighter, brighter, yes, I would say that they are super fast to work with because you're not worrying about seamlessly switching between video and stills. Lighter in terms of ease of use and weight. Normally you'd have to add extra ballast and that sort of stuff to booms, but again, I didn't need to worry about that. Brightness, you got a ton of power there. I think the highest we got was 80% all day. Somebody who's used color for well over...
Did that director just throw me under the bus then by showing full power on that head as I was saying the highest we got? That's funny, man. I didn't see that.
There, I think the highest we got was 80% all day. Somebody who's used color for...
To be clear, that's flash mode, right? It's different. It's different.
Well over 20 years in their work. I have to say, really blown away by these. And I'm not just talking about the 16 million colors that they have. I'm talking about the Kelvin range as well. It's a huge Kelvin range, gorgeous, rich oranges that I've certainly never been able to use before. Look, it's been an absolutely outstanding day. We got so much done. It is worth bearing in mind that the amount of shots that we got done today is huge and testament to how quick and easy these lights are to use as well. Being able to have a flash, full RGB, and you can modify that into any shape you want is huge. Really impressed with the results. Yeah, gorgeous images all day.
They did a good job with the video. Yeah, they did a great job with the video. Let's have just one last look at these images at the back here, because I haven't really shared these yet. But yeah, beautiful colors. Yeah, gorgeous colors in these, and you can see trying to mix the lights with this very low ambient light in shot. Worked well. Yeah, beautiful colors as well with these final shots. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, even just making sure. I remember trying to move that light around to try and get this reflection on the sofa. Yeah, just to keep her separated from that black background. Yeah, beautiful shots. Again, styling did outstanding with this. Yeah, but just a perfect suit for this. And again, Jordan never misses for sure. Yeah, good stuff. So if any questions on any of that, let me know. Just go through comments here. I don't think there was anything we didn't cover. Did they force you to say cinematic here? I had to use the C word, man. Like they beat it out of me. Yeah. Steph says, love those lighting styles so much, might just have to experiment more. I mean, yeah, hopefully that's what, you know, any of my lighting or videos or Technique Tuesdays is really just trying to get people to play a little bit more with color, right? You know, because it can be a bit overwhelming. And I think with RGB LEDs, it's kind of almost too overwhelming, right? You've got 16 million colors. I don't know, where do I start? At least when you had 5 gels to work with, at least you were, you know, kind of constrained a little bit. But now I think it's almost like an overload. So I think having some place to kind of build from helps for sure. Yeah. He says, what strength of the low contrast filter Tiffin has 4 in its range? Yeah, I think that one was the full one, so 1. So yeah, so but you're right. I think the Lee one is a 1.25, so they have like 3. They've got quarter, half, and a full. I think I was using the full there. Yeah. That was one of the things in the old days you could not do with Flash, was to switch down just by a click it down. I went a new set of strobe pack could do that. Yeah, it's like lowering the power is really something that you think, oh, you're never going to need, right? But if anybody's tried to do like newborn baby portraits or something like that, right, and you're just fucking blasting this newborn baby who's got his eyes closed with, with like a 600 watt strobe or something, is like, Jesus, I really need to turn this down. The other thing as well is, when we were using these super wide open lenses years ago, like f1.4 or something like that, and it's just like yes, you can use an ND filter on the lens, and you can use ND gels on the strobes and that sort of stuff, but sometimes it's tricky to get lights to go down that low. And whenever I've tried to, I've shot in several locations over the years, and you're bringing strobes on set to location, that's one of the biggest issues you have, is trying to bring the power of them down to match the ambient light. I mean, there's scores of the shots on my website where you have to use ND gels, which is a pain, because you can just go, well, you can just use ND filters on the lens. I mean, you can do, but it makes your life significantly harder to focus. Plus, if you put an ND filter over the lens, you're bringing all the ambient light down as well. So it's really the only option is to use ND gels, and they're a pain to use. So LEDs from that regard on location stuff inside has been great. Yeah, it's been great. So Tic Tac says, so in flash mode it goes. So it's I think it starts at 4 here in flash mode. Yeah, and goes all the way up to 10. Yeah, so it starts at 4 and goes up to 10 in flash mode. Yeah, and in constant mode it goes. Yeah, so in constant mode it goes from 0.1% power all the way up to 100% power. Yeah. My day-to-day. Yeah. Oh, is that right? Is that what you do, like newborn portraits? Is it? Yeah, I remember having to do those. And do you have the white noise machine? You got like the whale song on and all that sort of stuff, and the studio is at like 45 degrees C, and it's just like and the shoot takes 4 hours. It's just, man, yeah, I don't miss those days. Yeah. We would have to take light and put it out the window to lose some of the power. Yeah, bring it further away, right? Or I've certainly like turned it round and bounced it into something to try and shed some of the power off of something first. Even hanging up like darker sheets to bounce it into first. Yeah, because people say, oh, you can just ND a strobe. It's like, yeah, you can ND a speed light. I get it. Like, it's pretty easy to do. If you're just using speed lights, you just need just a cut, boom, job done. But with strobes, like putting any gels on strobes is a pain in the ass. Dependent on the modifier, and trying to use gels with softboxes again was a pain. We had to take the modeling bulb out, so you didn't have any ambient light, so it wouldn't melt the gel, and you'd put the gel on the inside over the flash tube. It's just so, yeah, just unbelievably slow. And look, we kind of joking around here, but like getting all of this done in one day. I've been shooting for a while. I'm fairly quick. I know what I want. I know where stuff goes, and boom, I can get it done. But you'd be hard pressed to do this for strobes, purely because you've got to be switching out CTOs and CTBs, and then you've got to have ND gels and trying to manage that by the modifiers and that sort of stuff. Then you've got to shoot video. You'd be very, very hard pressed to get all that done in a single day with Flash. Again, because you're having to deal with video being shot, right? So if anybody's shooting video, you don't need to worry about switching from Flash to LEDs. It's all been done in one light. Yeah. Color gels, blue tack to modifier as the use. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's crazy. You use blue tack. I use those metal clips, like the bulldog clamps and magnets, and that does a pretty good job. Mainly because it keeps the gels nice and flush to the actual modifier. But yeah, it's still slow, right? Okay, so unless there's any other questions on any of that, then by all means you can check out the lights yourself if you're curious. Any more details? Obviously, I've been posting images on Instagram and that sort of stuff last week from some of the shoots that I was doing, and they've been really, really popular. I've had a couple of people send me some pictures on Instagram. They've bought these themselves that they want to use. They took some shots and was like, I grabbed them. Looking forward to trying them out. So we'll see. Like I said, I don't know how many you'd have. I think if you had the option to use these in a rental studio, I would 100% use them, because it's very, very easy. Last week's Technique Tuesday as well was me kind of going over the setup. So if you want to kind of sit down and get a little bit more information yourselves, because this article is none of my Technique Tuesdays are short reads. So this one has a ton of BTS and data on, some more data on the shots and that sort of thing. So if you're interested in seeing any more of that, then check out the article as well. But yeah, look, very privileged to get the opportunity to shoot for Profoto on these phenomenal lights, and obviously extremely fortunate to get my own here, and I'll keep you guys posted on how I get on with it. I'm sure I'll be tagging the use of it. I would like to get the sweet spot, I think they call it, like the whatever it is, like the unit, gobo unit, just for that hard light. I've already got the umbrellas, which are outstanding. They have an umbrella hole on the actual head itself, so you don't even need to use it with a modifier. But yeah, like this unit here, I would love to get this projection unit, spotlight, whatever, on for that. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Cool. All right then. Let's have a look then. What we got? How many did you blag from them? I got the one. Yeah, I trust me. I would have loved more, but yeah, I got the one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, two I think would have been fair, right? I mean, maybe if I get another gig from them, maybe I'll be able to get another one. Yeah. Right, let's have a look. What we got here? Unfortunately, they are Australian dollars, right? 7,000. Yeah, they don't get me wrong, guys. These are not going to be for everybody. Yeah, these are absolutely not going to be for everybody. These are pricey units, and these are probably more of a hybrid unit than the other ones were, right? That the big boy that they originally had, which was the 1600 watt one, whatever that was. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, like this unit here was definitely positioned solely at cinema and TV. So look, I think it's great that Profoto is exploring LEDs. Like, it's tentative, right? They just got this, two heads, daylight and color, but we'll see where it goes, right? See where it goes. Like, maybe they start to do more. We'll see. Yeah, whether they feel like it's worth investing into the more stills side of thing, or whether they just stick purely on this kind of, hybrid at best, but probably cinema rental house level. We'll see. We'll see. But I mean, in terms of a first unit, I think they've definitely got the tech there. I think they're definitely going the right way for it. Is whether they feel like it's viable to put into, you know, smaller, more affordable heads. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I'd say 2 would be sufficient. I mean, look, two's a good start. Two's a good start, right? You got options. Two gives you options. Two's good. Three's bad. Yeah, I like the way you're thinking, Sin. I like the way you're thinking. Yeah, maybe I should have asked for 3 and then settled for 2. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's have a look at some community shots. Unless there's anything, by all means, if there's any questions that come to you as we're going through this that you want to ask, then do so. More than happy to answer any questions on them. But yeah, Profoto's, I think, releasing more and more of the articles that I did for them on the website as well. So I mean, and to be fair, it's not just my stuff that they've got over there. I think they've got a bunch of other photo shoots in there as well. I don't know where it is. What is it? What do they do? What is it? Explore gallery. I don't know what they. I don't know where their education thing is here. Unless I'm just missing it. My account. Find to do that. Yeah, but basically they have somewhere on here that shows their articles. I don't know why. I can't see it, but yeah. Anyway, it is on there. They do a bunch of... learn. Here you go. You've got to be in the photo, video, learn, Profoto stories. There you go. So they got... Yeah, so they're slowly putting out the articles there. But they got a bunch of other cool stuff on there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 2 is going to be a whole new way. It is a hefty investment. I think you would... Yeah, I think if you had a studio that you were renting and hiring out and that sort of stuff, it's different, right? Especially to video. I don't know what it costs to hire these for the day. Actually, I haven't actually looked into it, but again, probably ain't going to be cheap, right? Okay, so share a shoot. Let's have a look. So every week I do share a shoot on my Facebook page, and every couple of weeks we do the live stream. We kind of come in here and look at what you guys have been working on. If you wanted to share an image, you certainly can do. Just head over to that link there, and it should take you to this image. And in the comments of that image, you can pop your images in here for us to take a look at. Let's see what we got this week. Let's open these up. All comments. This is awesome, Vlad. This is incredible. Yeah. Love this. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. So funny how teaching a technique makes you better at using it. Been revisiting my old shots while preparing video tutorials, and the eureka moments won't stop. Latest obsession dialing in local tone contrast after explaining it in a video around a month ago, and luminance-based hue shifts, which I keep playing with, but I can't package it into something simple yet. Below any CC is welcome. Okay. This is it. I love this. And to your point, Vlad, yeah, I would say that my skills have gone through the roof ever since I started teaching photography, because I think a lot of the times you're kind of forcing yourself to fully explore one aspect, right? If you're teaching a specific aspect or even a technique, right, I think when you shoot it for yourself, you kind of explore every avenue of it because you want to have a mastery of it before you can teach it. And yeah, I would agree with you. I would say, like, writing articles on certain techniques or ideas makes you far more developed at it than not. So yeah, it's cool that you're finding the similar thing. But this is a great shot. I don't know if you're still in chat here, but is this just like a lamp or something? Because that's crazy what you've done in post with that. That's nuts to be able to crank that contrast in this shot. If that's just like a roadside lamp or something at dusk, it's kind of nuts. I presume it's at dusk because we've got lights on in the houses here, so it must be dark. Yeah, so it's not, because at first glance I thought it's like a sunrise or something like that. It's wild. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, street lamp. It's crazy. Like the latitude or the contrast that you've managed to get from that is beautiful. Yeah. I mean, nothing stands out to me. I would maybe just straighten it just a tiny bit. Maybe it's just me. I just opened it up, and as soon as I saw that wall was slightly wonky, but like maybe just, you know, normal people won't be won't be noticing the 2 degrees. but yeah, beautiful shot. Yeah, I love it. Definitely kind of brings you into this kind of circle, really. Yeah. Well, I presume what you've done in post, but yeah, looks good. I mean, even like the trees seem to be bending into the light and stuff there. Really cool. Yeah. Yeah, bold move on the color as well to keep it just that monochrome like that. But I think it definitely works. Yeah, really cool. Yeah, it's low cloud fog. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, wait till you see the camera I use for it. Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, nice. Oh, has you got something here? Nice. Straight out camera from little Sony. That's what. That's from the little Sony Mark IV. RX100 Mark IV. The version above is actually edit number 5. I think this is the perfect case of an image where the contrast level would be useless because it's so underexposed. I know, but you have to kind of, you know, I think this is what a lot of people forget with digital is I think you have to kind of underexpose like this to maintain the data in the highlights. I think people are naive is probably unfair, but I think people are kind of you know not aware of how much you can pull out of the shadows of a digital image versus the highlights. You know, you can really get very little out of the highlights of a digital file, yet you can get so much out of the shadows. And I think a lot of people kind of fall foul to overexposing and losing so much data in images. Yeah. So I do stack local masks with curve adjustments and back to pull the contrast out. But this is just one shot though, right, Vlad? You say like this final image, you're talking about the stacked masks and that sort of stuff, but it's still from one frame that you're able to do that. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, really cool. Yeah. I've shared an image, straight out camera, no edit. All right. Jamie's flexing. Okay. I underexposed because that's all the light. Not underexposed by choice. I love it. Yeah. Whether it's done in Lightroom, I don't touch Photoshop anymore. Interesting, Vlad. Yeah, interesting. I've heard a lot of people saying that. Who was it that sent me Adobe stock footage the other day? Was it Steve? I think sent me this. Yeah, not looking good, is it? They're struggling, man. They're struggling. I think Evoto is taking on, well, Evoto and other platforms are taking a lot of their lunch money. Yeah. I don't know where they go from here, man. They need to do something. Yeah. Okay, who else we got here? We got one from Steph. 2 creative people in a relationship leads to Valentine's Day doing a photo shoot. Nice. Oh, yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, just 2 large lights, large open beauty dish with no attachments, and an edge light. Nice, man. Nice. This is cool. Like cool angle as well, especially when you've got this angle here and then kind of mirrored with this angle behind you. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Sorry, the dog's woken up. He's trying to push me over. Yeah. 2 lights open beauty dish with no attachments with an edge light. Yeah. You've done well with the red there as well, because red is kind of difficult to use. Yeah, with the colors and stuff. That's cool. The only kind of thing that immediately kind of struck me when I was seeing this, like straight away, was the like the limb thing. I just kind of tend to try and have avoid the amputated limb look just a tiny bit, just bring in the elbow out just a tiny bit, just to see more of the shape there. But again, it's a small thing. Yeah. Red and black though, great colours. I think Adobe shit not being optimized is taking that much money. I think you're being generous there. I just think that other people are offering more ease of use. I think, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're right. Yeah. Thank you for noticing the angles. I was well proud of it. The red is a backdrop. So is it like a like is it fabric or like paper or something? Colorama. Yeah. But you done well with that red. Again, I think red is something that a lot of people overexpose with light and it just kind of bleaches out. But this is like beautiful, deep blood red. Yeah, really nice. So one from here from Alan had to do a headshot for a record that she was releasing. Nice, okay. So want to make it more of a feeling than just looking straight into the lens. Yeah, I love that idea. Yeah, love the copper hair and the fringe and wanted the light to show it off. I chose brown background to blend with the tones. Yeah, this is good, man, yeah. And gave it a slightly warm golden feel, yeah. Love the idea and the concept. I think the bangles and rings and stuff works really well as well, right? I think, you know, the green, I think works. Again, I like your thinking here with how you wanted to set this up. It's not just about creating a headshot. You know, it's not about it's not just as simple as what she looks like. It's trying to get something about her across in the image. I think you've done a really good job with the pose and the expression and that sort of stuff. I think it's great for like an album. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Copper hair is beautiful. Yeah. I will say, I think that this would benefit from being darkened down a touch. Yeah. I just feel like we're maybe just losing just a tiny bit of the skin tone here. Just darken it down a touch. Probably can't see it in Photoshop, but it's paper stuff. Is it? Okay. Nice. We can do it in a number of ways, but I mean, even just coming down here is gonna help a little bit. I mean, you could even do apply image as well. Again, I think you'd need to tweak the skin tones a little bit, but otherwise. I think darkening it down could help just to bring it out just a tiny bit. Yeah. Maybe you don't even need to go as far as that, but hopefully you kind of see where I'm going with it. Just to bring some of that skin tone back. Yeah. But really cool shot. Like it a lot. Yeah. And I think you did well with the color tone that you went for. I think it matched really nicely with the hair, the lips, and the background. Good job, man. Good job. Great shot. I bet she was over the moon with that. Yeah. Got one here from Raf. Oh, this is cool, man. This is cool. Yeah. This is definitely more my sort of style. I love this. Okay, very cool. So we've got some flash, we've got some ambient in there as well, and again, like having something shiny to catch on the ambient. Yeah, love it. Really, really good. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Got a bit of color in here. Yeah. This is just a personal thing. I'm really not a fan of that pose where they grab the arm from behind with the other hand. It just looks creepy. Again, look, that's just personal. I just, a lot of models would do it. I've never seen it kind of work for me personally. I just think just this hand coming in out of nowhere can always look a little bit odd. Yeah, I'll let you be the judge as well. If you think, yeah, no, it's fine, not so bad. But yeah, just the fact that this hand comes out of nowhere, and it's not you. Like it's just that pose is tricky to pull off. But love the idea of the shot, and especially like the fact that she's coming around this corner of shadow here as well, which is kind of nice. It's not just flat light, and then you've had a movement like she's coming around this kind of corner of light. Yeah, beautiful. Jamie, straight out of camera, no edit. Yeah, it feels like forever since I shared something. 3 rotor lights, Jake will know where they're at. We got one behind. Is this a mirror? Jamie, is she in a mirror? Yeah, it looks like we got this double echo here. Yeah. So we got the blue coming over her head here. Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna do some edit on there, and we got the orange as well. So we're gonna have the Yeah. Again, I'm always wary of this light coming over the shoulder and catching the nose. I think it's fine here. It feels organic enough, or reportage enough, or voyeuristic enough where we're not worrying about perfect lighting. But yeah, I'm always kind of wary of the light coming over the shoulder and catching the nose. Yeah. But great to see some stuff from you, Jamie. Like you share. It hasn't been that long, is it? You normally share stuff. You may be a little bit late in sharing, but you normally share stuff. It's always a pleasure seeing it. Yeah. Good stuff. It is mirror, yeah. But it was, yeah. I love using mirrors with gels. Yeah. Especially seeing as sometimes you can, like these kind of artifacts that you get in mirrors, I actually really like. It's kind of difficult to plan, but sometimes it can be really cool. Yeah. I think I did one on a shoot years ago with a mirror, and I was getting comments like, "Oh, you fucked up the Photoshop. You can see, you double the." Like, no, it's a mirror, you moron. Like, but yeah, I do kind of like the extra layer of something that happens with mirrors. Is really cool. Been in a lull these last few months. That's not true, man. You've been putting out some beautiful images. That guy you photographed with, was it the tubes or something, or the LEDs? They looked awesome, man. Yeah, really, really good. Yeah. One from Tony here. Another one shooting the other day, playing around with a material wrap. I love seeing Tony's work. He's always trying something new. I love it. So Tony playing with the fabric here, the wraparound. Very, very, very cool. Yeah. Again, I think you could probably get away with darkening this down a touch, Tony, but maybe it's all right. It's all right, yeah. And again, just watching that light coming over the shoulder on the nose and stuff. But yeah, very, very cool. And just cropping off at the wrist, I would try and be wary of. Maybe have the hand reaching up here a little bit. But again, really cool idea with the fabric. Yeah, he definitely quite literally leads you through the frame, right? Yeah, good stuff. Okay, this looks interesting. Material experimenting with my good friend Anna in my home studio. Lighting was rather easy, with a few constant lights firing either directly at the white backdrop or in a strip box pointed behind the model, hitting her just a tiny bit as a rim light. So we've got some shadows and stuff here. We've got the light coming in the background. We can see the edge light, just a tiny bit there. Yeah. The white chiffon fabric was the hardest part to iron out anyway, because it's a nightmare, man. It's a nightmare. The left half of the image is a combination of assets from the day, AI fill, and lots of liquify and Photoshop. Yeah. I mean, like the AI generative stuff for this sort of thing is phenomenal, right? I mean, look, to the normal person, they're going to think this is real, but I know how hard this is to do, so I have to say my initial reaction was, this has probably been gen filled out. Like nothing wrong with that, but that's only because I know how impossible it is to try and get this in reality. Like you need a team of people and about 1,000 frames to get something like that. But I think the final result looks absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it looks totally legit. It doesn't look like you've done anything funky with it at all. Yeah, yeah, really nice. Yeah. Really thought about using AI in this case. I could have kept it just the real right half of the image, but I liked how the fake part is that it support the composition leading into the model and the real posing skill. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, I think you did most of the hard work already, right? It's not like you just gen filled the whole damn thing. You'd already done most of it. What is it cut off, like here somewhere? Probably. So yeah, look, I think that's fine. I think playing with the gen fill aspect of it here is, beautiful result, right? Yeah. Like I said, you did most of the hard work already. It's not like the image that you've got of like half of it isn't already great, It's still a great image already, so yeah. Good stuff. I was just thinking about the colours on that. Because I like the colours. Whenever I see an image, I always think to myself, what would I do differently? And I was looking at this, thinking what I would do with the colours, and I'm just kind of curious. I think what you've done is nice. I don't know where I would have taken it, but I think this definitely works. Yeah. Did you play with other colours, in post at all? Because I presume this was just fairly white, right? You're using white light back here and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I wonder if you played around with different colours. Paul here. So the colours. Great to see you at the photography show. Here's one from the recent shoot using two Neo 3s with domes on. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so good to see you again, Paul. Yeah, good to see you, mate. I think Paul showed me a few of these on his phone at the time. I thought it looked great. But yeah, again, so Paul's using the Road lights. He's using the Neo 3s, which are the little baby ones. I say baby, but results speak for themselves, right? Great colours. And he's using with the domes on. So yeah, I mean, he's referencing the domes there. It's kind of what I was saying earlier on about using the rotor lights. I would always try and use them with the diffusion domes on. By all means, try them without. I think you lose like half a stop or something with the domes on, so nothing crazy. But I think if you're using them as key lights, like in front of somebody's face here like this, you can kind of get some weird specularity sometimes on the forehead and that sort of thing with all these little dots of light. So I personally prefer the domes, which is what Paul's doing here, and you can see is beautiful clean colours here. Yeah. Are you using a Voto here, Paul? Nothing wrong with doing so. I just maybe ease off on the skin smoothing a touch for me personally, but maybe that's what your client wants. So but yeah, for me personally, I'd probably just ease off a touch on that. But yeah, good stuff. Just check I haven't got any more last minute ones in here. Make sure we got really Facebook really. Let me check if we didn't have any last minute additions. It's good, yeah. Oh, Wibbly's got hidden there. I saw that. Wibbly's got hidden. Let's have a look at Sin's image there that got hidden. So one from Sin here, old one but with gels. Think red. Oh, because it was old. You're saying think red is in the set in the barn doors on background. Okay, back here, yeah. And then blue in rear strip. Yeah, nice, clean, yeah. And okay. I think you've done good with that, right? Yeah, to keep it fairly consistent tone-wise. Yeah. I still personally, whenever I'm using these strips, I still would like to have it just a little bit higher so the light is coming down a touch. I know this is not old image, but you can see where the light stops here. I always like to try and have that all the way down. So always just having it just a touch higher to make sure we get that light on top as opposed to up from below. But yeah, I think it's nice. You got beautiful. I think that if I don't know whether you do have, but if you had shots of like headshots, I bet the lighting on her face is just with that eye being lit. I bet that's awesome. Yeah. interesting with this just kind of touch of red over here. Yeah, I think it works. Yeah, yeah. It feels almost like a smoky kind of effect, but I think it's probably the backdrop being in focus as well, maybe. Yeah, yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's funny how it got hidden. Yeah, yeah. So Jamie says, those are artifacts near the shoulder are handles from the wardrobe. Oh, really? Just double checked, and the light on the nose I can sort when I get around to editing. Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, yeah. I don't think I've still got any mirror shots on my website. I mean, these ones, like, I mean, this is obviously very easy to get extra depth in an image with a mirror, but I'm not using her in the mirror there. I don't know whether I've got any of the old ones of the mirror. I'm using a mirror here as well. Again, you can separate out the foreground and the background with color gels is cool. Yeah, what I'm thinking of is the kind of the old mirrors that have stuff in them. Oh, here as well, like this old mirror is like picking up colors on the edge of it, which I love as well, giving you that kind of that portal effect. Yeah, I absolutely love using mirrors. Yeah, that's funny. That's the wardrobe doors behind. That's funny, man. Yeah. Leo says it might have been your preset inside nighttime color crank. Nice. I mean, who else would name a preset that? 20% to get the blues in there, the chiffon image. No way, Leo. Really? That's brilliant. Oh, if that's true, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah. I love it even more now, you know. So Paul says, yeah, no Photoshop. But yeah, the client likes the clean look on these. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them do, Paul. That's why I said it. It's like I think a lot of them do kind of want the very kind of airbrushed look. Years ago, when everybody was kind of fighting back against Photoshop, as in like the skin retouching idea that Photoshop was. I mean, I'm going back, got to be nearly 8 years or something like that, and for us working like full time in the studio, not once did any client say to us that they disliked the Photoshop work that was done to them. Like everybody says that oh no, it needs to be natural and raw. Everybody says that when it comes to images of themselves. Yeah, retouch me up, baby. Like that was always, at no point did anybody coming into the studio say, oh no, don't do any Photoshop on me. Yeah, it's what the internet tells you and what clients actually want is two very, very different things. Yeah. Steph says here, thank you for the feedback. We'll definitely keep it in mind from now on. Which one was yours, Steph? Oh, up here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the feedback. We'll definitely keep it in mind from now on. I posted an entire set on my Insta, so very pleased with it was successful. Yeah. I mean, look, it's just a tiny thing, right? It's just something to watch for with the limbs and posing. Limbs and posing is probably the thing that photographers struggle with the most. Yeah, because it's I got enough to think about, right? The exposure, the camera, the settings, the white balance, the where the lights are coming from, the power of the lights, whether the backdrop's folded or creased, or it's just a million and one things to think about. You don't want to be doing the model's job as well, but when it comes to portraits, often we do. So even just some of the things I was mentioning about like the hand being cut off on something else, or the kind of the amputated limb thing is something I'm just personally always kind of watching for. And it is just a case of, I love that, just bring your shoulder just a little bit to the right, or bring your elbow a little bit in this case to his left, and then it just opens it up from there to that, and instantly it changes the shot. So but loving the colors. Sin says your Rhodolite video just popped up on my Facebook feed. Must be spying on my YouTube. Yeah, that's it, man. Didn't take long. Yeah. Also got the pop from one of your presets. Oh, did you? Nice. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. I think I know the one you mean, actually, Paul. I think I might know the preset you used on that. That's funny. Yeah, I do know that one. Yeah. Jamie says, as per usual, from me at the end of the stream. Watch Mandy with Nick Cage. Yes, guys, it's just, you can't believe I haven't watched that yet, really. It's difficult to imagine. Whatever you want from liking, subscribing. But, like, yeah, so do what Jamie says, guys. Watch Mandy and make sure you like and subscribe. I think we're done. Look, I'm shooting in Miami next week. Humble brag. And I'll be out there for at least a week, just over a week. So the stream, I won't be able to do a stream in 2 weeks. So it'll probably be in 3 weeks from now. I'm not going to lie, I am looking forward to a little bit of vitamin D. It has been a long time. And yeah, I didn't even think I own a pair of shorts. So maybe I'll just have to go for pregnant middle-aged white man in trousers in Miami and just roll with it, you know. But yeah, so might be 3 weeks until we do a stream, but yeah, share a shoot will be up. So if you want to share an image next Monday, please do so. I think that's it. Everything else, I'll do some live stream cuts of this as well afterwards, probably tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, hanging out. Always an absolute pleasure, guys. And yeah, any questions at all, let me know. The best place, maybe on Instagram or email me, is probably the better place. But yeah, if you've got any questions at all, if you've got any questions at all about the Profoto L600, then let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. Yeah. All right then, guys. Let me just get out of here. Live streaming on YouTube. Boom. There we go. Thanks, guys. Stay safe. Thanks again, and catch you in the next one. Bye for now.